Shout out to all my mic-minded people locked in. The culture, the craft, the conversation. Look, you know how we do it on this podcast because it's all for the love of MCs. And boy, have I got a special guest in front of me today. Trust me, we're talking certified OG, veteran business, yeah? Before drum and bass, before jungle, before rave. We're going back to the 80s, the sound system era. This man was there. He's been holding the mic for multiple decades, and I'm truly privileged to have him on the podcast. I'm really looking forward to getting into this. He's got some stories to tell. He's got some stuff to say, trust me. So my guest today is none other than MC Flux. Now, Flux, the first thing, my friend, I want to ask you, how does it feel stepping into your 36th year of being an MC?
First of all, I say good morning, MC Focus, and thanks for having me on the show. 36 years, when you put it like that, it's like, wow, has it been that long? Has it been that of a journey where I've been flirting around, I've been involved, I made a career of being on the mic, but music's always been in my family, music is my life. And so I've made it will be to the end of the days. And right now, 36 years, that's a big number, isn't it? No, 36 years, me performing in a drum and bass sort of era sort of thing, but decades.
It's an amazing achievement, man.
Being involved.
Amazing.
Decades, yeah.
That's true legacy. And we're gonna get into this. You know, I've said to you like many times, you know, we speak a lot. I'm a true fan of this, and I'm a fan of you, and I'm a fan of everything that you represent and the scenes that you've been involved in. So to have you here today and the way we're going to break this down and chat together about the culture and the different decades of music, you know, I'm very excited. But listen, there's one thing, if you just allow me a couple of minutes, there's one thing I just want to break down for the listeners because I think it's really, really important. Now, your life is like a movie. It really is like a movie. And it would not surprise me if one day we'll all be sitting watching a movie of your life, because it really could be an action-packed blockbuster film. But on a serious note, this is what I want to say, okay? There's so many different ways this podcast could go because you have lived a colourful life. Yeah, we could go back to when you were heavily involved with Crystal Palace and all the football firms. The violence on the terraces, you know, the football stuff, okay? That's a big part of your life. And from being part of that football firm world, that actually led to you serving some time in prison. So that's just one part of your life. Or there's the whole bit where you were a very prominent drug dealer down on the South Coast and all the shenanigans and madness that went with that. That's just another bit. Or we could talk about the time you spent in prison, the way that you came out as a reformed character, and ended up working and mentoring other people sort of within the prison system. And that's before we even get to all the experiences that you've had in the world of music. But what I want to say is this, and I'm telling the listeners this because I don't want them to think that we're sort of pussyfooting around or not getting into all of that stuff. The football violence, the drug dealing, all of that stuff, right? The prison stuff. That's already out there. You've got a book. Big up Pete Nice. He wrote a great book called Dirty, which I've read twice, if not three times. That book's been out for several years, right? People can go and buy that book. They can read all of these stories. Not only that, you've been on multiple podcasts. So big up Terry Stone, big up DJ Ron, big up the Raw podcast. These podcasts are out there. And on those podcasts, you tell your story in great detail and you get into all the things that I've just mentioned. You've told all of that stuff. And within the next month or couple of months, you know, coming up soon, there's also going to be, you've also featured on the Dodge Woodall Eventful Lives podcast. So these are big podcasts. Yeah. People that want to know about the violence, the drugs, the crime, go and listen to that stuff because that story has been told. And I, you know, again, I'm making a really serious point here that I strongly believe in. this man is more than all that stuff, right? More than the crime, more than the drug dealer, more than the football thuggery. This geezer is 36 years deep in the world of MCing. And this is mic-minded people. So we're not ignoring the fact that Flux has had this crazy lifestyle, and God knows how this guy is still here today. But he is, and he's here to break down the world of MCing. This is a music-orientated MC culture podcast. And that's what we're passionate about. So, Flux. By the way, like, let me check. How do you feel about me saying all that stuff?
It's the truth. You know, like I said before, we're not going to go down so deeply about all the shenanigans we got up to, because you just mentioned it yourself. But how I feel about it, it's the truth. Look, there's no point coming on any podcast and not being honest. It doesn't make sense. And all my training I've had and all the things I've learned, there's no point. You can't get a kidder, and that's it.
Yeah.
Can't get a kidder.
Yeah,
So
man.
what you hear from me, it's always going to be self-honesty. Always.
Yeah.
There's nothing I shy away from, and nothing that's going to embarrass me, because life is life. As long as you learn from it, that's it. As long as you can learn from it, put your hands up and just say, you know what, I've got to revisit that and put it on. Not just have to correct it, just act accordingly.
Yeah, man. But you're the real deal, brother. And don't get it twisted, people. Like, I'd love to talk. I have talked to Flux about all these things, and they are interesting stories. Trust me. Like I said, this geezer has lived a life. But what's the point of just regurgitating all of that stuff? The other podcasts that I've mentioned have done a fantastic job of breaking down that story. So after this episode, and not till after this episode, go and check them all out. DJ Ron, Terry Stone, Dodge Woodall, etc., etc. Get the book. Find out about this man's life, because it is fucking interesting. But like I said, this is MC culture. This is MC Flux. So, brother,
get down.
With that being said, let's get down to it. So, just for some. Yeah, go on.
Sorry to interrupt you. When you mentioned in the intro of the life and the story, there was something exciting might happen at the end of the year. It happened just before COVID. I was approached by a representative of guy to do a documentary of my story for Netflix. This is for America, for Netflix and Amazon for America. Wow. And my agency was handling it, Caroline, the artist. We signed, and it didn't break down, and it come down to working. I'll put it down to COVID, or it could be down to something else. But I had the chance to sign again. And recently, I've been revisited due because of the Terry Stone connection, criminal minded, and there's another chance. So watch this space.
Okay.
Watch this space,
mate. Wow, trust me, I'd be there. I'd be there if that came. I know you said it's a Netflix Amazon thing, but if that was at the cinema, I'd be there with my popcorn, queuing up. That'd be my Friday night, my date night with the missus. We go and watch the Flux film. But if it's on Amazon, Netflix, whatever, that, like I said, that's mad that you say that, because it is a movie. It is a movie. Your life.
You know what? To me, it's, even if it doesn't fit, just to be approached, just be acknowledged.
Yeah.
Just to know that people are interested, what way they will go down, what roads. Yeah. We don't know. I don't think it'll be much of the MC mode, but they'll show that at MC, who was a pioneer, who was a professional. But I think it'd be more the chaotic side and the lifestyle, what I lived and what I've done. Yeah. And, you know, living in the inner cities as a black man, I have to mention that, not in that way, but, you know, for what I've done, it's not a sort of thing that monocultural people do. You know, it's like one person probably, it doesn't make sense. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, man. Well, look, on that note, that kind of sets it up nicely, because I want you to give the listeners, just give them a little flavour of where you grew up, when you grew up, and then we're going to use that as a way to start talking about the bit I really want to get into, the sound system era of the 1980s. But set the scene for the listeners before we get into the sound system bit.
Well, you know, I'm Carl William Thomas, aka MC Flux, born in Lewisham, SC20, SC, South London, proud. I know a lot of people are proud that I'm from South London, proud, super proud. So that's SC and then moved from Lewisham into Croydon. And Croydon's a borough, and it has two areas where I was like based, and one area is called Fulton Heath, and the area is called South Norwood. And that's my bases, and hanging around in Croydon, with many places in Croydon, just moving around in Croydon borough. But it's such a big, it could be a city if you really think about it. It's such a big, vast area. It could be a city. Hence why it's not, because we haven't got a cathedral. But yeah,
Okay.
incorporated just into South London. It used to be Greater London. Half of it is Surrey, half of it is in London. So it just incorporated the whole city, the whole borough. Sorry.
And what was life like growing up in that area? Because you've mentioned a little bit about obviously being a black man and multicultural society. Like, was it multicultural
Oh,
in your childhood?
yeah. Like in every era or area, I should say, it had its political views in one area, places where I wouldn't say multicultural people should go. Yeah, so because I'm 58 soon. So there was, at that time I was growing up, I think in every area in England, there's places you can go, there's places you can go. But now, Croydon area, it hasn't got a good rep, but it's got a good rep for loads of stars, especially for grime,
Mm.
everything. We will touch that later. We used to come out of that area. But right now, Croydon is a very multicultural area, very heavily black area as well, especially places like Fulton Heath, culture. I mean, there's hardly any British people. I say they're more outskirts in the suburbs. The only white people around in my old area is Eastern Europeans, and then after that, it's Iranians, Afghanistans, black people. But it's diverse, and it's always been diverse since the day I've been there and grew up. It's a diverse area, very much so.
So, what are your first memories of really getting into music? Like feeling some excitement around hearing music. Tell me about that.
Excuse me. Do you know what, folks? I have some fond memories of growing up into music because my dad was collected a lot of music, and I think in West Indian society, there was always parties going on when I was young. So you're talking about the 70s. I can always remember parties in my house. Always remember. I'd be third week, my mum would have a gathering there, computer carried out, and parties going to what time. I remember always being around whoever was putting on the record at the time, looking at what record is that, what record is that. And I just remember it was 7 inches there, and we had loads. I don't talk about that, had loads of records, loads. That was him. Buying music was my dad's. Was my dad go-between. He loved buying music. He loved music. Sunday was his day of rest, being in the. We had, Western people, we had this room where you couldn't really go into, which was the front room. It never was used for anything. It was just a no-go area. It was just the nicest room in the house. But funny enough, nobody went in there apart from when we had parties or mum had special guests.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was involved in the West Indian culture where the front room was a no-go area. Everywhere else was all right. The front room was my dad's room, and my mum's room. I always had parties. So my dad was going there and playing music, and I used to follow him and listen to very much of music. So I was listening to things like Studio One, Treasure Island, all those sort of music, Trojan, and hence why I was a rude boy. I loved skinhead rude boy music as well, and in my latter years became a rude boy. I was a rude boy.
How would you
Which,
define? How would you define being a rude boy? Because I'm not sure that, like, when I initially hear that, it's necessarily the same thing as what you mean by it. So, what define rude boy within the context of what you're talking about, that era?
okay, so people who had skinheads was probably right wingish area the second coming. when you see skinheads involved skinheads, that was right ring area. Forget all that. Skinheads, if you were a skinhead, you was into things like Trojan music, like
Oh, okay.
54, 46, what's my number? I say yeah. That was skinhead music. And then you had rude boy music, which is more like, if people can remember the second coming of ska music. So ska music was being a rude boy. Two-tone jacket,
Oh, okay.
brogues on your foot, tight trousers, looking smart. So the era then I became a rude boy, we had the specials, Selector, Madness, Bad Manners, The Beat, all those people. I was a rude boy at that time. Where some of those black boys were like more getting to the soul. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I stuck with the rude boys. My dad was a rude boy. So I was influenced by my dad, what he liked when he played music. So I was following that time. So
Yeah, yeah,
music,
yeah.
I was listening to all sorts of music because music was just about in my house in a very heavily in a heavy way.
Where was your dad getting his records from?
Oh, you know, that's a good question. There was no fee, that's for sure. But just buy on wages. I couldn't tell you what shop he went to because I was so young. But I think
So a lot of these records like imported from Jamaica.
oh, they were English. I mean, there was a lot of
Right.
cultured, I would say, shops about. I mean, the dub vendor. I mean, they had independent record shops around the area. So, you know, you didn't have to import any music
Right.
at the time. I mean, music was getting made immensely a lot. Because in the 70s, I think that's when the sound systems started to become more prominent in the
Yeah.
70s.
Did your old man grow up in Jamaica?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So did he tell you stories about being in Jamaica and being at those dances with some of the original Jamaican sound systems? Was that his thing?
Not so much. No, not really. I guess if anybody knows Jamaica, you don't have the sound system everywhere. The prominent
Right.
ones are the ones you know. But,
Hmm.
you know, I'm from a place, parish, called St. Elizabeth. Like every parish has its own sound system. So there's always music in Jamaica. No matter where you go, you've got the big sounds, obviously, with the warring sounds, party sounds, but you've always got music going. So I don't think my dad was not affiliated to any sound system. It's just like all Jamaicans or West Indian people love music. Just love
Hmm.
music.
Okay.
Music is part of our culture.
So you're growing up in a household. Your mum and dad have got this room where the kids aren't allowed to go. It's similar at my house actually. Very very different. You know, my dad certainly wasn't a record collector, but we had they used to call it the quiet room. But it was the room where they had their hi-fi system, the old like silver stacked hi-fi system,
Exactly.
and a drinks cabinet with some liquor in it and stuff like that. Okay, so your old man's got the the sort of the sounds, the record collection that you just broke down. So when did you start taking the next step into that world of music, like maybe going out and actually experiencing dances and hearing this music in a live setting?
Well, the first experience was listening to tapes. And no, sorry, no, get that. It was the radio. And we had David Woodigan representing Capital Radio. I used to have another guy. God, I hate when I start thinking names. My memory is so bad. Tony something. I know the only two reggae shows off legal, legal.
Right.
So
Okay.
I guess it was from like listening to reggae coming on the radio from the early days, and then obviously progressing was hearing tapes of sound systems, and then which we're going to get into more deeply later. It stems from there, from hearing tapes from British sounds, not so much. No, it was Jamaican sound at first, what came over from Jamaica, like Kilimanjaro. I remember volcano sounds. They were the two prominent sounds what I first heard. Do you know what I mean? Volcano, Youth Man Promotion, which is sugar, minor sound. It was all these sounds I was hearing from Jamaica coming over from Take Backs. And then the British culture stepped in, which it took me like, wow, I need to hear this. And then from following sounds, you chose a sound. I guess I was lucky. And now people will argue, people will say, well, really, or give their point of view, or give their own version of what went on. But I don't think you can actually dispute what South London sounds in England ruled the roost. There's too many big sounds. There's too many big sounds. I mean, you got other sounds in other places in the country, never apart from London, but South London, we were privileged to have some good sound systems. And I'm talking like, look, I'm going to go back to when we'd be Dread Diamonds, Nasty Rocker, Jam Band Rocker, Stereophonic, and obviously the two greats in South London, Saxon Sound and Sir Coxon. And there's many more I could go down that road. And that's South London. So,
wow.
And then you had the Mighty Jar Shaka. So you got three big sound, Saxon, Coxon, Shaka. If anybody can tell me who was touching them sounds at that time from decades ruling, then, say so. But I'm not saying it because I'm a South, I'm saying it's factual.
Yeah.
And I'll lay down the law more why these sounds ruled for a particular time.
So just to give us a timestamp, because look, I know a little bit about the sound systems you're talking about, but I want you to treat me as a complete novice here. So we're really going to break this down for me and for the listeners. But what timestamp the rough year that we're talking about here?
So
1980.
I got three. I got in South System 92, 93, listening to British sounds, moving off from hearing what I heard from Jamaica, British sounds. And I remember
82 and 83, yeah? 82 and 83, yeah.
I said 82, and I'm going to come to 83 because there's something in 89, 83. So 82, there's all these sound systems around, which I mentioned previously. And then there was a clash for the MCs at that time. They used to call them DJs for whatever reason why, the MCs were called DJs. Don't ask me why, but they were MCs.
Yeah.
So there was a MC clash. It happened in my area called Dick Shepherd, the area I lived in South London. Dick Shepherd, which is part of there in between Brixton and Streatham. And it was Friday 28th, January, in the new year 83. I'll tell you why. And all the MCs around that time, Tipper Irie, the famous Tipper Irie from Saxon Sound System, he wasn't with Saxon then. He was with a sound called Tubbies.
Okay.
Levi there. I'm not going to quote a Levi saying. And I had other sounds from like Lorna G, Walton. There's a guy called Fluxy, actually, which funny enough. And various amounts of MCs from different sound systems. And there was a clash. I remember going there, but I couldn't get in because it was full up. Loads of people from my school went. And it was like a school hall, and there was like the first ever warrior sound clash with MCs. And it came out on record, which you could find on record actually. And it's Friday 28th, the month of January. And the first time I heard a guy called Philip Levi, Papa Levi, which came, and he belongs to the great sound system, Saxon Sound. And I remember the lyric went, the date of Friday 28th. The date of Friday 28th, the month of January, we in the year of 83, a bubble me, that in the Pepsi. What the matter out I? Pay attention to me. Cause no, we have to tell you about the DJ Jamboree, words unconnected to Flux. We take up why we were shitty in that it. And I heard that. And if anybody knows about Philip Levi, he was lyricist. The lyrics was enormous. There was other people, but he didn't win the actual clash. For some reason, I don't know. But he stood out with the record I heard, the clash. It was like, wow, who's this guy? Who is this guy called Philip Levi, Papa Levi? And what actually happened then, Tipper, who represented Tubbies, I think it was like Manchester United, the last jigsaw, Eric Cantona joining joining Saxon. Tipper Irrigate of Saxon was the last jigsaw that was a puzzle. And as you know, if you was into the MC culture, they couldn't be touched for being lyrical. They all had the bass. I mean, they had people like, you had Tipper, Colonel, Levi, Sandy, Junior Sand. This remember, they had 5 prominent, serious MCs. But they weren't number one. A sound called Sir Coxon, which is my sound I followed. I followed
Yeah,
Coxon.
yeah.
There's loads of reasons why, because I like it dark like that. Coxon was from Brixton, Saxon was from Lucian, and Coxon's sound carried a particular firm of people, which were kind of the bad boys. But
Okay.
they didn't have any particularly good MCs, but they were for music and dubs, which was prominent them days, who had the best music. MCs were good, but it was all about the music, the dubs. Because if anybody knows reggae, it's about the music and then the sound can't play. So it was about dubs.
Let me just stop you quickly because you said that. So I think you said you grew up in Streatham. So was this a bit of a techie thing then? Because arguably Saxon should, in terms of areas, Saxon should have been your sound.
No, I was born in Lewisham, but I grew up in Croydon.
Sorry, Lewisham. Yeah. But that's that. You were born in Lewisham.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought you said. So is it fair to say that, I don't know, like would some people have said, why are you following Coxon, Brixton sound when you're Lewisham, or was it not like that?
Well, no, I mean, we had our own sound system. We had
Right.
Observer, and the Observer sound system. If you watched a film called Babylon, that's the
Yeah.
sound Shaka was played at the beginning of the film. That was the
Oh,
Observer
okay.
sound. And we had people from our era in Babylon, that film called Babylon. So when
Okay.
Shaka was playing, the other sound he was born with was a sound called Observer, which was from Croydon. I mean,
Oh,
another
wow.
sound system from Croydon called Radix, but they weren't prominent. They were big for Croydon people because it's a big area. But I'm talking about prominent sounds. What had.
Yeah.
So you're talking, with them sounds, you're talking Coxon, Saxon, Unity, Java, Celoid, Jam Down Rockers, Young Lion. They're all the warring sounds. And I'll get to them in a minute. So
Okay.
why I chose, I actually thought I had two sounds. I was Saxon for the MC, I had Coxon for the music. And then later on, Coxon appealed more to me for different reasons why I'll go into and show you why they appealed to me. And why let's wait for that, because that one's a nice. So I was saying sound system, the two sound systems were like making the most noise, in my opinion. And when there was it was like a Liverpool Man United sort of thing when they clashed together. It was like a big thing. And Coxon didn't have the MCs. Then they had Bikey, that Jar Screechy. I mean, I can't recall any Bikey lyrics, but the Jar Screechy, when they for the listeners, you know, like, water can be go water and skank. A little jungle tune what SA2 mixed up I made. That's Jar Screechy. He was the MC for
Oh,
Coxon
okay.
sound.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I recognised the lyric that you just did from the tune, but I didn't know who's the originator.
But he was a all right MC. He wasn't the best. He was like there. And then I'm talking about Coxon sound here. It's a Coxon sound, and who I was sort of like fell in love with and started to follow. But they weren't really known for it. Then they got an MC from Stereophonic, with Daddy IP, RIP. And he injected some life into Coxon sound. Do you know what I mean? He was just like skipping along the lyrics. He was more lyricy, but he was tight and everything else. And then I guess I'm not going to lay too much on the sound system on that way because I'm going to. And then after that come 10 of 5, the great Jonathan Stark, sorry, RIP again. And I think who finished it and polished it up was Freddie.
Daddy Freddie.
Yeah. Later on, John's years. But with Saxon sound, moving across now to Saxon, they wasn't known for heavy for the music until they started to get there. But they were impregnable. I mean, like I said, look at the names, Levi, Tipper Irie, Colonel, Rusty, Junior San, Senior San, Miss Irie. They had so much MCs who were tight lyrically. They were just like, they'll break it down. But to me, and they had another sound system called Young Lion from Battersea. They had one particular MC called Willie. And he took on, he didn't care. But lyrically, I think he was beyond his time, before his time. He was very lyrical. But he was just on a sound. No, they were big. No, they were big. They were massive. Because they won our version of what's called the Champion Sound one year. Beautiful sound, warring sound. So Young Lion was there. And then you got the famous sound from North London. Big up Flinty, big up Demon, Unity Sound. I mean, I know Specky Ranks, Navigator come later. I probably think he came later when I kind of left Sounds to go to. But yeah, when Demon and Flinty were on Unity Sound for me they always had a nice following. When I went to a Unity set, they always had vibes in it. A lot of people listening was on, so it was nice. But what for me, there was a nice sound. They warred, yeah. But this is only my opinion. They wasn't in the league, in my opinion, of Saxon and Fox.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Unity from like Tottenham area, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So what was the rivalry like between if you went to a dance and Saxon were clashing Unity, for instance, or Coxon? I know you sent me a set where all three of those sounds are clashing. Yeah. Coxon, Unity, and Saxon. What was the rivalry like? What was the tension like? What was the vibe like in a clash?
Well, Coxon had the bad following now in Hangman, and they were like, if they were about troubles will happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't tense. Still rude boys, but it didn't really kick off. Yeah. Not in a dark night. I can't remember anything bad happening when the big sound were warring. And the only time I say when there was some warring, it's known. When Young Lion in 1984 set up the dance to play Saxon in High Wycombe, and it was any sound system follower, you should listen to it because it was like Saxon caught off guard. And there were wobbles. Even though Young Lion prepared for it and set it up, they caught Saxon off guard. Levi done everything he can to try and take them on, but they rocketed it. They rocketed it so bad, they made another clash in 1985, but Young Lion didn't turn up, and they cut dubs for them, specialized dub for Young Lion.
Yeah.
Make sure they're prepared lyrics to bury them. And it's famous. Anybody who's in the Southern culture who knows that story would know how that went down.
For real.
And Saxon, even though Young Lion didn't turn up in 1985, the second time round, Saxon buried them like they were there, just acting like they were there. And the lyrics, if you keep me not, look it up on YouTube. It's Young Lion versus Saxon, 1985 or 1984.
Yeah, man. I've listened to the first one. I've listened to the one where Saxon and Young Lion are there in High Wycombe. Why was it in High Wycombe?
Because that's where they had a big following. Spreading High Wycombe, Young Lion. Even though they're from Wandsworth, Battersea, they had a big following from High Wycombe, Reading. Okay. So it was like their ground. It was like Saxon come from their ground, but Young Lion set the dance up. They really knew that what they're going to do. Because everybody wanted to war Saxon. Everyone wanted to war with them because they were the up and coming. They wanted to take Coxon's crown, and by then they were probably took Coxon's crown because they were cutting dubs from big artists from Jamaica, and they had the MCs. then,
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
So yeah, I was splitting between them two sounds, Coxon and Saxon. I mean,
There's a couple of things I want to break down because obviously I know what you're talking about, but not everyone necessarily who listens to the podcast will know some of the terminology or really truly have an essence of what it's about. So let me just pick up on a couple of things. So can you just break down for people? You talked about dub plates and you talked about special dub plates, one-off dub plates. Can you just expand on that a little bit?
well, anybody in the music, it's just like now in drum and bass. Before, no, like anybody who knows about music and knows about dub plate. Dub plate is a specialized plate which you cut, which is your own version of what you're playing. You know, it's your version. It's your version. It belongs to you. Or the artist cut that version about you to use it. It's a personalized music. You know what I mean? Which no area scope, which belongs to you. It's part of you. Like putting a jacket, it belongs to you. That's a dub plate.
Yeah. So, for instance, someone from like, you know, the selector from Saxon might get a Jamaican artist to vocal a track and they're actually calling out by name, like coming up with lyrics, dissing the other sound system that they're clashing.
Especially in the reggae terms, that's a dub plate. Some will be say won't be, but certainly some sounds started to like make dub plates, cutting the other sound, putting them down, what terminology whatsoever. Which is still used widely now, up to date, with the other different subgenres of music. But the word dub plates, it's from them days. You know what I mean? Hey, well, dub for me was before the warring sound, before the MCs come along. It belonged to dub sounds like Shaka. You know what I mean? So, but that's the whole part of dub plate. Dub plate is people who know it's a personal music. It's your music. It belongs to you and nobody else.
So a one-off record, literally a record. It was cut out of acetate, weren't they? One away dub plate that no one else can play.
One away.
And what about you know, when you listen to these sound system tapes and the recordings of the clashes, you hear people talking about riding a version. How would you break that down for people? What that means?
Now, back in my time when I was listening to sound system, they used to play your vocal side. So imagine you're playing the vocal side of a rhythm, and then you turn it over, which is the instrumental, the same thing, but with no vocals in it. So the MC would pick up the mic, and then he would chat lyrics. And we used to call it the version, ride the version. So the version is without the music. So say like you've heard of popular music, you turn it over, it's the same music without the lyrics. And it's for the MCs to ride on top of it. And it's called ride the version. Or the counter action. Right, another really for the counter action.
Yeah.
That's how it used to roll, yeah.
Wicked, man. I love it. What so earlier you were talking about musical styles and you were talking about kind of rude boy and two-tone. Obviously the music being played in these clashes, the instrumentals or the whatever artist they were playing, how would you describe what that music was now in this sound system early 80s era? What tunes, what music was getting played in the clash?
Okay, I would say too much. Two-tone, that was earlier on.
Yeah, that's earlier. Yeah.
Talking about the 80s, it was the 80s when it got more serious in this country for warring and who was the best and who wanted to be the best. So the music was great. I think it was the best time sound system. Great time. I mean, it was the best time and the death of sound system the whole of the 80s. From my point of view, because I left sound system at some point in the 80s for different reasons why. Mm-hmm. But at that time in the 80s for sound system, it was a culture for everybody. I had a sound. I was part of a sound. I was part of a youth man sound. We made a sound. Sound systems weren't cheap, you know. You have to make the speaker, then get the amplifier, and then you got the equalizer, you got to have an echo chamber. All these things are separate, and they weren't cheap. And then we cut dubs as well. Yeah. From who we had. I mean, we cut dubs not from big Jamaican artists, but we had a dog from Dixie Peach and Little Kurt. But this is my young son, a local young senator. So we warred with other sounds in Croydon, in our own area, because we wanted to do it properly. And we were called like a youth man sound, but we did it properly. So the South African culture was massive in the 80s. It was like the rave scene of now, or in the 90s. It was a massive thing belonging to a sound, or having a sound, or following a sound. It was just, and British music, especially the way Saxon took it, Saxon sound system took it, they took it to another level, you know, getting attentions from TVs, getting attention from going over to America, going over to different countries, even going over to Jamaica. There was a period of time when I believe British sounds were more prominent than Jamaican sounds. I think the MCs for at least 3-4 years were as good as Jamaican MCs. In fact, probably better. I mean, the only thing why in Jamaican, that's where reggae comes from. That's where music comes. So I think Britain paid homage to the Jamaican sounds over that way. But did they better it? There was a certain, especially 2-3 years, I thought, yeah, there's no MCs in Jamaica that can come up to British MCs. I think you've got to salute Saxon's sound for it. Got to salute Coxon sound. Got to salute Unity sound. Got to salute other sound systems who had that in their arsenal of repertoire. And we did from the time I was following sound systems.
With the British sound systems, would those artists get respected in Jamaica, or did Jamaican people look down on them because they're from Britain? Like, how did that work?
Nah, I think they're not touching them. I mean, when you got like Papa Lever, Philip Lever, going to do their sound splash, been invited, and even the whole sound getting taken over to go play against other sound systems in Jamaica to war with.
Wow,
that's a massive honour. They're looking at British sounds, and Saxon done that. You know, they wanted to think, and they warred with their sounds out there. Do you know what I mean? Saxon created such a big opened up for a lot of things. And I come to that because their MCs were impeccable. They were on point. The 5 MCs I mentioned were on point. There was no weakness. And they had the music as well.
Well, that's what I was interested in. What fascinates me about Saxon, and like, tell me if I'm wrong, obviously, but the impression is that, no, let me ask you the question. Did Saxon actually make their own music?
Oh, yeah. They made their own music.
They did. Yeah. So that they were producing tracks. Like, I'm just kind of like contrasting it to how we work now in like drum and bass. You know, they were actually going to the studio, making their own tracks as artists in their own right.
Okay, well, the 2 biggest stars who come out to Saxon, Max Priest, he was their singer, Saxon.
Yep.
Everyone knows who Max Priest is. You should do their music. Smiley Culture, you know what I mean? We had his own show on TV, and police officer, like give me producer. And the
Cockney Translator, was that it? Cockney Translator?
Yeah, there you go. And a Smiley Culture. I just said it's a Smiley Culture came from Saxon. The fast star, people, what we call in our star, called double timing.
Yeah.
Come from Saxon, from my guy from Keita King. Many people know how to do it. So the fast star come from Saxon. That double time thing is from Saxon. And that's, so anybody who double timed is Saxon. It's chatting fast, what we call double timing now.
Mm-hmm.
So, so Saxon paved the way for a lot of things, and they were like phenomenal in the sound system business. But still, I still favour Coxon sound. And there's going to be a reason why I'm going to say why I favour Coxon sound, which wrapped up for me.
Tell me that. Why did you favour Coxon then?
The reporter man. The reporter man is the reporter.
Come on, tell them.
To me, I had known him as Johnny French. He was from Stearns, the mighty Tenafly. I think what Tenafly revolutionized in the sound system culture was telling a story his way, what was going on. Like, me nah go out and then like me I done. If I get say yes and that I already gone. You know, things like that. And he had a vibe to him. And but still before him was a guy called IP.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and then you had Fathead. Wasn't quite finished yet. But the two who were made before they came along were Mikey and Josh Reed. They weren't doing it for me. They were like, no. I don't know. It was just chatting nice.
Yeah.
IP come along, he was RIP, gave you vibes. You know, what did you know? My friend Big was defender. I want to play it. I am the controller. He put some vibe in it. Then, wow, who's this guy? And then Pedafly come along, the reporter man. I don't need to trash Pedafly lyrics. Then when Freddie come along, that was it. That was just like, that's it. That was it. And then, you know, saxophone, they were going along side to side. And then when I left the sound system culture, there was a famous VT come up when all the sounds were together. And it's out there now. And Cochran came on. That crowd, a British crowd is hard to move. And it's really Stearns. You saw the VT, what Freddie and Tenafly done. They killed it, didn't they? They killed it. The style that just you had to chat, vibes. They put it in our level. It wasn't about nice lyrics. It was about they put vibes in it. You know what I mean? And no sound done that to me. No sound done that to me. And I think every MC who was there played said these two are on them 11. Mm. They were like a version of like put Stevie Hype and put Stevie D together.
Yeah.
And do go back. People will probably say it like that. I'm just trying to give a version.
Yeah. No, I totally get what you mean. Like, I don't want to jump too far ahead into the jungle thing yet. Yeah. But what I wanted to say was that is it fair to say that Tenafly and Daddy Freddie pretty much set the blueprint for jungle MCs?
Without doubt. That's not even a question to me.
Okay. I mean, is that just facts?
I mean, whether MC, who to me recognised played jungle, was the first probably jungle put it on the map. On top of the pops. That's jungle. That's what we call jungle. No matter what he came out with, we jungle. And without that, he would have took a Tenafly. He was the best at it. He took Tenafly for a reason. So yeah, they led the way. They led the way of putting it on the map to have where I was, and where I am now, and what I'm still doing. Put that on the map by far.
Yeah, I think it's important that people know this and understand this, right? And they get their credit for it, because there's different versions of stories get told, but really and truly it comes back to this sound system era for the true roots of it.
I mean, the other two, Flinty and D-Win.
Yeah.
What they've done was shut up and dance just on the else. I mean, when I saw them doing reggae about and that sort of thinking, is that quite a community sound? They're just doing much MCs. They're just doing reggae about, just like doing the little things like that. But they were doing it good enough.
So you recognise them from the sound system, from the dances, and then you're like, hold on a minute, they're doing something different.
Yeah. They'll come into what was then becoming jungle. It still wasn't quite jungle yet, but we called it jungle then.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like you're talking 91. You're talking 90, 91, 92. Yeah. They're putting out music, which we get to that when we want to get to that, where I was starting.
Well, let's bring it back to you, because at the moment we're almost talking about this as just looking at what was going on in the country at that time, the sound system culture. You're going to the dances. Let's go more down the path now of you actually. I know you said you had the young senator, you were in a sound as well, but tell me a bit more about you actually touching the mic, starting to perform in front of crowds, coming with lyrics, that side of it.
You're talking about the reggae side, you're talking about the rave side?
No, just like the first time when that first started to become a thing.
Well, on my sound system, I'm more selector, so I should have been a DJ. It's only because of Pete Knight, who wrote the book, who was a brilliant MC, reggae MC. We went to a rave, and his famous story, he just didn't want to get the mic. And I just looked around, rubbed my hands like, because he was a better MC, obviously. And yeah, cause I wanted to be that limelight at that time. And I took it, and the famous guy, Jumping Jack Cross, remember just doing my thing, whatever I was doing. I don't know what I was doing, but it must have sounded good in some way. MC wasn't quite refined then. And it just took from there. So that's where my first recollection of picking up my mic, and that's 1990.
Okay, so sound system era for you, kind of, we started talking about 82, 83. Where
Okay,
did the sound system thing start to
okay.
kind of filter off for you and the rave thing
Oh,
took
for
over?
me.
Let's cover that bit.
So sound system started for me in 82, going to sound system, British sound system, going out, eventually listening. And by 1986, I stopped. So there was a period where we stopped and started to venture out our area and listen to other music, which not doing nothing, just going to different class. And then when the rave scene kicked in, I mean, by that time, the rave scene, the first MC I remember at that time was Chunky White, early. I thought non Chunky White fan. Then there was Allen, the bass man. So at the time, I picked up, there was certain MCs about, and the only MCs about, which was like, you all start to go, what I remember, and I forget, and it was a guy called Hardcore General, very much a good MC, underrated, should rate it, but didn't. Okay. Yeah, Chalky White, yeah, Moose, I remember. You had MC Lenny from Birmingham, you had MC Bassman from Birmingham, you had Majika from Birmingham. That's when I started. Other MCs come slightly after me, the likes of Navi, GQ. So I've prominently based in the South Coast, but I used to move around anyway. But then, quite quickly, those MCs came on GQ, Navi, um, 5
Yeah, yeah.
um, that that's still kind of stuff. So absolutely, yeah, yeah.
So by this point, the music's changed, right? We've gone from the sound system and the kind of more reggae influenced stuff, and
So
is this fair
house,
to say this acid house? Is that fair to
acid
say that
house,
it's that
acid
era?
house,
Yeah.
acid house. Because
88, Summer of Love, go into like
we
the big
still,
raves like your Genesis, Sunrise, Biology. Did you go to all of that sort of stuff?
yeah, but the only MC was about them times was Shulky White. Yeah, Shulky White, Emerson Allen.
But were
That's
you
right.
going to those big raves? Were you
Yeah,
involved in that whole Summer of
that's
Love
what I remember.
movement?
If there was an MC and Top Buzz later, but that's a bit later. But the M-Time
Mm.
Summer of Love, if you want to say, was there any MC around that Summer of Love who I remember who said about now was Chalky White?
Wow.
He was
Because
probably
it wasn't really. I mean, look, I wasn't there, and you were, so this I'm asking you really. But it strikes me that it wasn't really an MC-driven thing. It was
no
about.
way.
It wasn't even really about the DJ, was it? It weren't like the DJs were big superstars. They were just about the
No,
music and the people coming
it,
together.
it was just what it was. Music and people coming together. It wasn't like no DJ who was big. It was just who was a weather around that time. People coming together. Like I said, you can't
Mm.
explain. You had to be there because it was such a game changer for me for many different ways. From a football perspective, and from a crowd perspective, and from being there. But it's like, someone hanging around at a telephone box. You're right, this is where we've got to go. It's like secret meetings. And then you turn up and it's like 20, 15, 10, or 20,000 people. So it's crazy. So it's that nuts. And it wasn't about who's the biggest DJ. People went for the music.
Yeah.
I think when they cut it from that law and made it go from outside things into venues, I think that's when DJs started to get prominent. Like people started to make their names as DJs, and people started to follow their DJ if that particular DJ or DJs were playing.
Did you have a particular favourite rave? Or do you remember a certain rave that you went to and
In
it
the
just stuck in your head?
first days,
Yeah, like 88, Summer of Love, Acid House Boom,
it's going to be
that era.
Biology or Sunrise. And
Yeah.
them two had something on. That's what they to me they were the pinnacle of all about them. There was others. Hard to remember to think about. Rain Dance become particularly a little bit later. There's others. You had, sorry, why am I forgetting my people from Coventry?
Oh,
People,
like Eclipse?
Eclipse, the organisation. Oh my God, I still work for him. Oh my God. Neville, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Amnesia House.
Thank you very much. They come up after, they were prominent from up Midlands. Yeah, I knew I was clicked, but I think Sunrise at that time and Biology were the pinnacle, in my opinion.
Bruv, let me ask you this. I'm dying to ask this. Do you remember taking your first E?
Yeah, I was at Crazy Club. Rat Pack were playing. And I was sitting on a chair. So during those times, 89, I didn't do anything. Didn't touch anything. And the pills were to be good then. Didn't touch it. It was only end of 1990. I was like, because it was Rave every day. And they're all quite packed. I just remember being, and it was in Coco's, which is Camden Palace. I just remember doing it then. Yeah, my friend said, "Go on, sorry." It's like, yeah, I said, "Oh, yeah, can I swear?"
Yeah, of course.
Fuck it, I'll take it. I said, that was it. That was a literal, yeah, man, fuck this, man. Let me see what this starts, and it was like, it is like what they say, like, fuck it, no, what did I miss out? What was I waiting for?
Just blew your mind.
I should have took it a long time ago. But yeah, that's what I remember.
So were you just out the whole time, raving, just on the scene, on the circuit, just here, there, and everywhere? That was your life?
Yeah, I pretty much so, for many different reasons. Which we don't need to go down, because to me it's about music. The main reason why I went out. But to actually start performing was another mind-blowing experience. Accidental with Jumping Jack Frost. And then as we were kind of more down South Coast way, so with Brian, Portsmouth, Bournemouth, Hastings, I took that route and became, my name was brought up there. So I was working for all these different organisations, but I think prominently where I teamed up with Colin Dell was then a particular sought after DJ, played on a legal station called Kiss, which is Kiss 100 FM, still going now. And that's where things got serious. First got serious. Become his MC. And then times I used to chat, skip. I didn't start thinking, I mean, like, I say like, things like, hey, no, stop it, that's now. Move on to the other move. Hey, no, stop it, that's now. Mommy say? And I used to say, make your way to move, make your way this way. Make your way to move, make your way this way. Make your way to move, make your way this way. Make your way to move, make your way this way. Doing it. Cutting nail. Doing it. Cutting nail. Putting your body into a spell. Or I used to say, we make your body jam. We make your body move. Come on now. Why not, body? Come on. Why not, body? So there were a lot of lyrics I've chatted over putting them skipping like that. Or I used to say like MC Flux, and that's all. No matter where they come from, respect you. Our crew. MC Flux is part of the crew. So that was my style then, back in 90.
Yeah. Still a bit of that kind of rude boy swagger thrown in there.
Yeah. I was going to say, I mean, a skin tea on it. Don't pan it. Skin tea on it. Don't pan it. Mina Kinty. And that was the start of chatting.
Come on.
At that time. So straight away, I got a lot of attention from the South Coast people. They made me their number one. They called me the South Coast number one MC. So even though I was from London, I was through the South Coast.
And you got a big voice. You got a big voice, big persona. Like all that feed, it all comes together, doesn't it? I can imagine.
Mm. So that
This
was
Colin Dale, like he played a bit more of a techno kind of sound, didn't he?
yeah, jungle techno. But that we had jungle techno was
Okay.
big in the days. Then he went more techno, which probably led me our career to go different ways. Because techno, you don't really need an MC. And we'll call ourselves the techno dreads, me and Pete Nice. But they did. When it got more, as the music started to go further, so like 92, so 91, 92, when we went more techno, you know, I invited our after party.
The techno dreads, that's sick. I like that.
Yeah, me and Pete Nice, yeah.
That's quality, man. Yeah.
So 90.
So sorry. Talking about the South Coast, because again, like I think it's often the London raves that get a lot of the limelight and the attention. But
Yeah.
as a fan and a student of this, I know that there's so much going on the South Coast. So I'd love to hear a little bit about Stearns and Mensa and that. To tell people about Stearns, because this just sounds like a crazy magical place.
Okay, well, like London's a pinnacle. Cool. Stearns is like going to another country and experience that you're on a holiday and having the time of your life. Because you didn't only have Stearns, the venue, you had the farm afterwards, which you was invited to, and that held a load of people. It was placed in Worthing, 3 floors, or 4, I think, all big. People from Portsmouth, Bournemouth, Brighton, Hastings, Worthing, congregating. So you had every week you had about 2,000 people, congregating in one place, things going off. And things were run professionally. There wasn't just go up, it weren't what's that place where Bud are playing Kenny Ken, then it'd be Bud
Oh, the Labyrinth, 4 Aces.
So, no disrespect, that was just a party, which is a good party and prominent. And well done to Joe who put it together, and it will go down in legendary. But Stearns, you have to be serious if I'm playing down Stearns. DJs come down there, you couldn't just play and jump them down. People wanted to hear music, people wanted to be moved. So it's equivalent onto what Paradise A was doing. Even though the mighty GQ was holding down by himself, there wasn't thing. But Stearns to me was the pinnacle. I was waving there all over the place. I was there. I went everywhere. Everywhere where there was something in the country, I was there for one reason or another. In my opinion, and I say only in my opinion, there was nothing like Stearns. Stearns was the pinnacle. It was a club. You're talking about 2,000 people jamming it.
Every week as well. Every week.
Every week. Every week. But not how long.
If I could get a time machine and go back, because I've heard you talk about it. I've heard Jay Cunning talk about Stearns a lot, and others. I've watched the documentaries. Like, it just looks amazing. That's the one thing I'd like to go back to. Stearns.
Yeah, I mean, it's
just amazing.
Yeah, and going to Ibiza, I think that's when I started thinking this would be something, because I got discovered by moving Shadow Stearns. I got taken away by Stearns to different islands, Ibiza a couple of times.
Okay.
As their MC, representing their MC. So many avenues and doors opened for me. Being a Stearns MC and RP Mensa, and being taken on as to work down there. You got to understand it. You know, it's mind blowing. It's happening so quickly as well. I mean, it's in 1991, and 91. And then you get taken.
What DJs were you getting booked with?
I was a lot with Gashay. I top a big bag. And then I went to downstairs and then everybody was playing downstairs with Carl Cox, Groove Rider, obviously, Fabio, OTJ Bookham. There's other DJs, but I'm talking about the prominent ones with Danny Ray Keith, Jumpy Jack Frost, So anybody who was bigger than anybody I was working with, I had to represent, especially to a high class. And their DJs were coming through at the time. Mickey Finn, Kenny Ken, I think Fleming played that, I'm not sure. I mean, Finn, yeah. Yeah, all these DJs were all started to make their names. They came out Stearns. I was their MC.
So from Stearns, there was a link to that you just mentioned to Moving Shadow.
Yeah, they were doing a live PA for one of their tunes. Can't remember what tune it was. No, I think it was like, was it Mary Mouse or was it? Oh, God, remind me. What's it called
Oh,
again?
Bomb Scare.
Bomb scare. I think it was a bomb scare. Sorry, sorry. But chilling mum. And this is a podcast, and I've got it written down. We're freestyling this. Yeah, so they had an MC Flux at the time, did turn up. Mensa sang my praises, said, "You have a perfect MC." Met Rob, the great Rob Playford. Rob Playford's the man behind Timeless Goldie's album, and he owns the movie Shadow. So, and it was part of Too Bad Nice, just for anyone who don't know, that's who Rob Playford is. So, you know, he called up, done it, and it went down so well for them and for me that it was a no-brainer. It's like, we're signing you, you're our IMC. And that time things were happening for Movie Shadow so quick. You know, America's so quick. Into America, doing all the clubs. And Movie Shadow were the biggest, if you want to say now, drum and bass label at the time. They know that we were scared, they were scared because they weren't arrogant, but it was world domination. The amount of music was coming out of Moving Shadow, which I didn't know Moving Shadow was crazy. So going up to, Itching and what part of it.
Yeah, because they were based in Stevenage, weren't they?
Yeah,
Or
Stevenage,
just on the outskirts, Stevenage, Hertford area.
Yeah, well, Hertford, yeah. And when I don't know how fast you want me to move because they're talking about MC there. Because they were part of my career at that time. So, I mean, I want to keep it down to years. So we're talking about 91, 92, when loads was happening for me, going to America, touring in America, quite a few times, Orlando, LA, Orlando again. There were various parts of the States we were going to, which was mind-blowing for me, was happening so early. And featuring to be there MC was like an honor. And I mean that in the West, an honor. My name was growing. Reputations were growing. Attention was happening. So it was one of those ones where like, damn, we're more than this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because this is real genre defining music we're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Early Shadow stuff. This is still before really. I know you might say differently, but to the average person, like jungle isn't really a thing yet. That's still a little bit further down the line.
It's famous things like Blaine, Cosmo did, Nookie, Too Bad Nice. God, like I said, my brain looks so stupid. Foul Play. Yeah, all these great artists is just making anthem music, unforgettable music. Still played now. I mean, it was crazy. Anything that was coming out of that camp was just hitting, just charring, it's hitting. Everybody just buying movie shadow stuff. No matter what it was, even if you thought it was bang happy shit, it was still going mad off the scale. And when the racing, so I'll go back forwards, when they pulled out Voodoo Magic, and then anybody didn't know about Voodoo Magic, when they left the square for the Equinox, they put on nights. And for me, once again, in my opinion, it made the likes of Andy C. Movie Shadow paved the way for Andy C. He's our resident. Now, if anybody would go or have heard of Voodoo Magic or experienced Voodoo Magic, it was the iconic scene. The vibes in that place No other place touched it. It was horns, whistles, and things. And it was set up for DJs. So you had the likes of Randall, Andy C was trying to pull through, Fabio Groove, Biggie Finn, at that time, jumping up for people were making their names at that time who was respected in London. And all the AWOL DJs were like Kenny Ken, Darren JV, they were all respected. Well, put in there, we chucked in there everything. And Andy C, apart from what Randall was doing, Randall was on no bread. But Andy C cemented his name, battered the place, battered it. He was mixing. People knew about Andy C then. That's where Andy C was born. He used to do telepathy, but telepathy was a club. 8, 7, 600. You're talking about Equinox. 2,500 people going mad. And the sound system in the days were clear and they had bass lines in days. This guy annihilate. Not just kidding, annihilate. With his mixing and his use, this guy is different from the rest. He's just
were you MCing for him?
Everybody did, because we had the MCs who were like the residents, myself, TQ, and 50. They didn't change. They didn't change from that. So we were the MCs. I used to go off and do the live PAs. We used to do live PAs. So any live PA from Ruby Shadow, I used to have to do it as well, because I was the voice of Ruby Shadow. But yeah, it was hard work, but it was enjoyable. I mean, the nights we put on, 12, 13, I think, it lasted for a massive prestige venue. I remember, Phil, we started at 4 o'clock in the morning.
It started at 4 o'clock?
The rave started at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, shit.
And finished at 12 midday.
And the mad thing is, this is in the centre of London, isn't it? This is like Leicester Square.
Right in the centre of London, Leicester Square. Bang, centre of London. Loads of ravers. And the noise, because obviously it's a cinema sort of thing. So make sure, and then 4 people were queuing up to go to Voodoo Magic. And Voodoo Magic will go there. It's cemented in history. Cemented. If you know your jungle, you know your music, then you would know about. If you're a boss fan, you want to know about now, you want to know about how this music performance progressed. Everybody will mention Voodoo Magic. And if you're not, you're a hater. And I hate using that word. Voodoo Magic was Voodoo Magic. End of story. Too many, the birth of fantasy. Everybody knows birth of fantasy. And this was known, but that was the birth of it. You're paying 2,500 people with a wicked sound system, surround sound system. The bass lines come from nowhere because it's surround cinema that days. The bass lines coming from everywhere. The crowd were just going nuts. Nuts. You didn't even, it was that bad. You didn't even have to MC because the music, the mixing with Andy C and Manuel, it's like, it's the first time it happened in Paradise Club where they say you're rewinding the mix. Plenty of times in Equinox, Magic, the mix when you rewind. It was powerful, it was crisp. The sound system was crisp. So it was an experience. And it done me a lot of, put my reputation up again for moving on to the next level. And I guess the next level was teaming up more with you, brother.
Okay.
Not particularly coming as MC, I think coming a formula crew called Internati.
Yeah. Inter.
Yeah, which people...
For those that know about the tune.
Was Dancing More, yeah. I mean, that's a great tune. Yeah.
Personal favourite.
Internati style, right?
Do you know the mad thing is, like, that's, I think I mentioned this to you before, but for me and my friends, that's like a proper, when we had a house party and stuff, that would be a tune that someone would select and we just all go wild. But even though I've known you for a while now, I didn't realise that was your voice on the tune.
Yeah.
Mad. When you told me that, I was like, oh shit. And it makes sense. Of course it makes sense now I'm thinking about it. Like, why did we not even realise that anyway? But yeah. So yeah, Internati crew. So hold on, sorry. So we've obviously, I just want to keep coming back to the timeline just to make sure that I'm following it and the listeners are following it. So we started in the sound system era. That kind of moves into the latter end of the 80s, very early 90s, and now we're in the acid house, which then became the rave era. And then the rave era leads to you meeting Two Bad Mice, Moving Shadow. It's now kind of like 92, 93-ish. There's all these raves popping off all around the country. You've been to America. You've been all around the flipping place. And it's now what, 93-ish? Are we moving into that?
93 is 94 degree magic. Yeah.
Okay. So Voodoo Magic's sort of 93, 94, and you've said it's the
94.
some iconic shit is happening
94.
in London. Okay, 94. So this is the bit where I just started to discover jungle. Remember the compilations that you'd get from our price, like Jungle Mania?
Yeah, so it's jungle now. 94 is jungle music is, even though it's split around, but jungle music is born in 94, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay.
So you had like the prominent raves like Rose, Desert Storm. Yeah, again, I hate my memory. You know, it's jungle. You had the clubs, whether it be AWOL, it'd be Telepathy, whether it be like place where I got played. What's that called again?
Labyrinth.
Any club. And then you had the more authentic jungle places like Roast. It was jungle music. So you had the likes of DJ Ron, SL, so known as jungle. They play jungle. You know what I mean?
Do you remember the time? Like, I'm not going to ask you to say like specific tunes, or you can if you want. But I'm more talking about just generally speaking. Do you remember the time when, because you've been in it for so long, like, and the music moved so fast, didn't it, across that time period? But do you remember when you kind of stood there and thought, oh, like the kick drums there's less kick drums now, and it's more this breakbeat sound. Do you remember that?
I was never junglers. I was more like a roller, the beats. Like, I like to hear it. I was just rolling. I wasn't really down with the hardcore jungle sound, like, with being involved with it. I was like, okay, if anyone remembers a tune called Music Box by Ronnie Sykes, I was into things like that more.
Yeah.
I like instrument, like, got thought patterns into it. Do you know what I mean? So if I was the jungle, I was into things like, I don't know what it's called, but I remember it came out on Vigo. That's where they're my style. I'm Conway. It's our fashion.
Oh, fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like my jungle like that.
Mm-hmm.
Jungle, that's how I liked it. Or the famous bassman one. The bass too dark. It was him, but there's like doom, doom, do, 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 do. And if I heard that sound, that was me. That was my jungle. Yeah. You understand? Mm-hmm. It wasn't more like any ragga thing on top of that. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. With that.
So what, you weren't really impressed by that, or not impressed? You weren't really feeling the ragga stuff?
Not really. I respect it, but I was
because
more
obviously
like,
that's got a direct connection back to some of the stuff you've been hearing.
Yeah,
from the sound system era and.
Yeah, but because I've never heard music being produced like that before. By these people, and then times it was like, what the hell's going on? Even though it had an amen pattern over it, it was just like the way it was produced, the way I used to like the rolling. It just, you know what I mean? It just made a lot of sense to me. And plus, coming from a techno side, I'm coming from all angles. I appreciate music.
Yeah.
I mean, as an MC, probably thinking, what about you, an MC? When you want your vocals? Yeah, of course I did, but I appreciate music as well.
Did you have like actual aspirations at this point? Did you ever sit down and think, right, I'm going to push this MC thing, or did you just kind of fall into it by being at the dances, and then before you know it, you're swept along, and it's like, oh shit, now it's 1994. I've been doing this for 3 or 4 years. Like, did you have a plan, so to speak, or was you just going with the flow?
I guess for MCs at that time, we considered that we're just the backup dancers. Let me explain why I think that. For me, When I wasn't really bothered, even though there was other MCs probably fighting for it, I wasn't really bothered. I mean, I'm MCing. Do I believe the DJ believed in the MCs to say, let's make music with these guys because they're vocalists? No. I think they're all like quite happy to keep us as backup dancers. Not in a disrespectful way. It was just the norm of that time. We were just backup dancers. I think in a cussing way, I think Fat Man D mentioned it. Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah. Yeah, 1, 2. That's what we were. There's more to it until there's the lyrical MC. But even when they came along, were our producers or the DJ backing them? No. That's why, hence why, where it is now. We let other subgenres take that over, like the garage people and that lot, to make their names and make them names. That's why now drum and bass is 1 or 2, yeah, General Levy, but it wasn't not our MC. He wasn't an MC. It's coming on lines.
Yeah, yeah.
He wasn't supported that way. I don't think we were supported. No, we wasn't. No, even though it's called us spade, we wasn't supported at all. And if we was, it wasn't supported by DJs. I can remember Stevie Hyper making tunes. I can't remember it playing much in the rave apart from these people who made it, like Ricky Mark played it, and stuff. But you know that famous Stevie Hyper tune was it good again? See, I don't even remember it. I don't even remember it. I don't know it. Not the
Nah.
Red Bones, yeah.
But even putting like MCs making tunes aside, but you know, by this point, this is
This is
a
what
career for you, isn't it? You're busy, you're out there, you're doing it, you're earning money. Like this is what you do, right?
it became career in 1994. It
Yeah.
came up.
Okay. I think that's what I was getting at. I'm just interested. Like, did you sit down and think, right, boom, I'm going to become an MC, and this is the plan, or is it just kind of
It
just
was never
happened like
planned.
that?
It was never
It just
planned.
happened like that because you were there, you were in it, and then boom,
This happened.
it's going somewhere. Yeah.
Atheists came around. You should do it yourself, whatever. Then agencies come around. We had to book, and it was quite professional then. Still, back in 1994, agencies came around as you know, moving with the times. It was as professional as then. You know how to book, what money you would get, how much you would get. Even though the MC money was ticket date was capped, there was sometimes it's getting good money. I
Do you
mean,
remember what you were getting paid like back in '94 to do? I don't know, a Desire or one of the bigger raves, jungle raves. What were you getting paid?
I was working mostly 6 days a week because there was a lot of raving going on. There's a lot more
Wow,
money in the 90s. So
mad.
there's raving going on. So I would do minimum, I was doing 4 gigs a week. So I was probably walking away with a week at the beginning times, £1,400,
A week,
£1,400,
blimey.
or grand, minimum of grand a week at that time. And then when things were made on tours, it was crazy money. It was crazy because people remember there was a lot more money around in the 90s.
Mm.
And from people who were around. Wages were more capped in clubland, like the 250, 300 mark, were capped. But if you were doing like going up north, I'm not forgetting, even in New Year's Eve, you usually get double bubble. So if
Yeah.
I work 3 plays, I could come out with $3,000. I'm like,
Wow.
because double bubble, that's gone now, then daily gone. So it wasn't really quite sinking in, but it was. I didn't have to. It was my job. It was my career. It was like serious. Was I taking it serious then? No, because my mind was still consumed with private matters with Charles career
Yeah.
and soliciting him. So what?
Yeah, like we kind of alluded to at the beginning of the conversation, you had
Exactly.
a hell
And
of a lot of other stuff going on in the background.
if you knew that, then you knew that I wasn't really sinking in as it should sink in. That
Yeah.
you had a career.
Yeah.
But did I really know that I had this I could take it to another level? I don't think so. I did. I knew it, but I don't think I did. And because I was doing soliciting so many things, I didn't really. Okay, here we go. And I think by 90, it's been long a bit. So jungle, well, I'm doing my thing, moving shallow, um, the interactive thing, and then
Well, tell
oh,
people internet because you said the internaty thing, but break that down a little bit. 'Cause I don't want to gloss over that
okay,
too
so we
quickly.
talk about interactive. Let's talk about music. The other people. It was much a group rider. I made No Way Fabio supporting as a crew, supporting them. A Formula Foot, a Formula Firm, which we were the first in level beds as well. A firm of us supporting a particular DJ going around the country, making noise. So you when Groove Rider played, and at that time he was the sought after DJ. You know, he was the DJ of DJs. And we made it known to show that say he's our DJ, or whatever, this is who we are. We did the MC before him, but he had an MC called Pride, which was born in Dundee. So
Oh
he had his
yeah.
own MC. Didn't last too long for reasons why. And you know, I came along. Yeah, of course I chat. We chatted for him. Yeah, chat. But I wasn't his designated MC. We did do a lot of work together, but I was never his designated MC.
What? Just out of interest, because you kind of said it but didn't say it. What happened with Cool and Deadly?
But he went to win in the Navy.
Fair enough. I wasn't expecting you to say that, but yeah. All right. Cool.
Navy, if you know what the Navy is, you know what the Navy is.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
So Cool and Deadly became sailed off somewhere on a battleship
Yeah.
or whatever, and
Yeah.
and then you step in. So you're rolling with Groove Rider.
Yeah. Yeah. And wait, the pledge is half. And the international making noise. People you about the Inter. Who's going, Inter. Internet is dying right there. It was just
And you out there with your bomber jackets, like the branded up
yeah,
bomber jackets, right? You were like dreadlocked up, just looking.
yeah, the
Yeah, you were
whole
just like you said, you were firm.
we were like looking to conquer it. It's like any crew or you make a crew or you have a firm. It was the settings were there, the foundations were there, ready. You had Groove, Proud, were behind him, doing his thing. And me, I'm good, I'm doing my thing, I'm an MC. You had Pete Nice, Clothing, doing his thing. Take Packs, Paul Juice, doing his thing. So the next step was, let's do a rave. And then we covered the whole spectrum of the dance music of drum and bass or jungle. Unfortunately, splinters happen. People disagree, and it didn't happen. And I'm telling you, sitting there now, if that happened, we would have made noise. The rave was setting up because it was like it just would have happened. It just wouldn't have been. It'd have been simple. It would have been simple. It would have gone down like that. You know, group bought into the idea of internet of the firm. I thought Wu-Tang Clan thing. It was all set up, but due to politics, certain ideas, it didn't get off the road. I'm not going to go down the politics side. I think that's down and dead, or you're going to have to read the book. But yeah, we would have not even in my opinion. I know we would have been talking about an iconic thing at that time. But hey, that was 95, 96, no, 95.
So 95 comes along. By this point, you've been MCing for several years, and you've mentioned other names like when you was at Equinox, Voodoo Magic, Five O's there now. Obviously, GQ's prominent.
Yeah.
What other MCs are popping up, or what other MCs are around you? Who are you kind of moving with? Who are you sparring with? Like, paint that picture a bit for me.
Well, you have the likes of Debt, Moose, Skibbity's come through now, Navigator, Juice Man, forgive me, like I said, this is coming on top of my head, so I'm thinking
So many.
so many. She's doing 95, Fame, Cleveland, Watkins. Because she comes into the come into the metalhead area now. Metalheads was born. So their MCs. And then you had splinters. So you had MCs who are hosts now and shows, like the Fat Mendy's, Foxy, sorry. He's prominent expression up front for you, yeah. So Scooby and Depp was making the most noise on that side.
But in 95, though, Skibbity is young, right? Skibber, this is like super early days of Skibber.
Yeah, he's 36, Scooby outside.
Obviously, Shabba's been about for a long time, hasn't he? Like,
I forget about Shabba. Sorry, Shabba, yes.
Because Shabba, to be fair to Shabba,
He
goes back before a lot. He's not that, what is he, like 92? He was on the radio and stuff like that?
Yeah, 92.
Weekend Rush.
I remember every time if I had nothing to do, I'll pass through telepathy. He's smashing it. So I always knew that he was going to be someone. He just needed that push. And that push was, as you know, was Skibbity. Even before Skibbity, was that the push for Skibbity was there. And then, whatever reasons I don't know, I can only surmise there. Yeah, these when MCs, you like a host or you're a spitter. It's not like I can spit. I just like to hear music. I've fallen on hearing music and supported it. Not like I couldn't do it. I like to MC the way I MC'd. I like to hear the music. I like to work with a DJ. Didn't particularly know what the DJ played, but believe me, some people know that. Did they make that up? Well, anybody can spit from that. Respect at maximum. But you didn't need to. I mean, variety is the spice of life, say. I didn't want to be I didn't want to do it. I couldn't do it. I didn't want to. I liked the way I MC'd. And I had my supporters who liked the way I MC'd. But I tell you what I was. I was jumping from any sub-genre to that genre. Look, I'm not going to put any politics on this. But them spitting MCs could come to a metalhead and do that. They'll get lost. But what they've done in their circuit, well, they've certainly set a generation where certain people can't hit. But they couldn't come into our territory. I could go into their territory and host. I get away with it. Maybe not as good as them, but I'll put myself as a multi-genre MC. The likes of an MC, I like of a GQ, I like of Moose, I like of Flux. But multi-genre MC, we can go into different sub-genres and work. May not be able to kill it like the experience, but when you become a spitting MC, I think that you lose your ability how to use your timing to work with a DJ. You're so used to moving so quick. That's what I find. If I'm wrong, and I apologize to my peers. But
I think you make a really interesting point because you were at a Metalheads and later on a Renegade Hardware, but you're also at the One Nation, you're also at the Desire, you're also at the old school thing doing the flashbacks to 1990 sets.
Jungle Mania.
Jungle Mania,
yeah. Hysteria, Amazon. So I was doing all the jungle ones.
Hysteria. Quite, yeah. That, do you know, the first tape pack I ever bought, July 1996, Hysteria 11. So yeah, Hysteria holds a bit. I never went to the events, to be honest with you. I've got all the tapes, but Hysteria holds a special place in my heart because it felt like it had a slightly different, like a bit more of a Midlands edge to it.
Yeah, I think
that's the first time I heard bass and Trigger and Juice Man as well and Ransky.
Yeah, they came through, especially Birmingham a lot. Loads performing up there. So those guys you just mentioned, they're a bunch of guys you holding it and running it down. I'm especially bass man. I mean, I've never seen an MC control such a city.
Yeah.
Literally control the city. Don't care what else. Being there, I even heard the crowd saying they don't want to hear anybody else. And I performed that as Rave. And they're saying the crowd was getting a bit darker then. Because there's a lot of solicitation with different sort of drugs. It's a harder drug. I'm
Mm.
gonna say, I don't even hear bass. When bass Tom touched the mic, it was like, it was, yeah.
Were there times where you were at a rave where Bassman was emceeing and you had to go on like after him, for instance? Like, do you remember
Yeah,
them
yeah, but
occasions?
you had people like, they respected the likes of like, maybe because of feeling like people like Juice Man and Trigger and Air Rounds, Long
Yeah,
Shot. Um, so
Spider,
no,
obviously.
thank you very
I know
much.
he's one of your favourites, isn't he, Spider?
Yes. Yeah, yeah. It's his reasons why, especially now, not then, but now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah, there was just, but it was always bassman style. It was a bassman style.
Mm.
I mean, the only one who, to me, didn't do the bassman style, but belonged, got great respect was Juice Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, probably one of the best freestylers I know. What was yourself, actually? Give you abuse. It's about it.
Come on, Juice Man. You know that Juice Man is my favourite MC, and yeah,
Yeah,
he managed. Yeah, he was part of Shadow Demon. He was doing his thing with in the kind of
yeah,
Midlands, but
yeah.
so sick, so sick. How
I
did you link
just,
up with Juice Man? Where did you first meet Juice Man? Do you remember?
that was, damn, when this happens, what was it called again?
Did you just go to Milwaukee's?
I'm glad you're doing your homework, mate.
Was it there? Yeah, yeah. Because that's not too far from me. That was sort of the
So
back of
that
Bedford.
that had another particular MC who I thought he would have broke through. On his name was Hooligan.
Hooligan, yeah, because Juice Man and Hooligan were like a bit of a
They were
combo,
team.
weren't they?
So when we come down, Screw played there a lot, and I got booked for them sometimes. Hooligan and Juice Man controlled that. They controlled that. They held that down. Don't care. They held that
Sick.
down. They had their own following as well, and they were growing out sick. You know what I mean? And Juice Man was his freestyle was bad, but Hooligan was more like refined a little bit more. Juice Man was raw and energetic and nice, young, with vibrance, had the place moving. Hooligan was more refined, sat back thing. You can hear the timing more. So December, both of them as a combination was sick.
Yeah.
Really
What
like.
happened to Hooligan? What happened to him, man? That's
Yeah, again, private life.
right.
And what stopped him? Because he should have done, and I reckon he would have done. He would have become a prominent person in this MC fraternity. He would have become very prominent in this session. Definitely.
So one thing that I'm finding interesting is that in contrast to when you first started picking up the mic back in the day, now we're in 1995. There's so many other MCs about. Initially, when it was like the rave era, there was hardly any MCs. You said like there was Chalky White, and then you came along and a few other people. Now there's lots of MCs with lots of different styles, and we've name checked some of these legendary names. What was the vibe like between you guys back in this era? Was it camaraderie, you like brothers in arms, or was there a bit of like rivalry between different MCs? I'm quite interested to know that side of things in this when jungle was the predominant sound and you're all coming through.
I think there's like a two-part answer that to a question, I should say. When it comes authentic jungle, like I start to hear this thing called the 18, and the 18 consisting of jungle, decked, 5-0 navigator, which I think 5-0 using that terminology. So he's saying like see lost. And they all were like coming from the Cool FM fraternity. And then you had people splintered the MCs like myself, just I was representing New Shadow or Inter Natty. Cheeky always represented himself, but he was known as an angry MC. So more in the jungle sense of that heavy jungle Cool FM side, maybe there was that a bit of challenging who measuring up whose cock is bigger than whose cock, if I was saying that, but I'm saying it in a good way. Yeah, because you had Stevie Irving, you had Scooby making that noise. And you had Deck, then you had Shabba making that noise, and then four were like in that jungle sense, more the pinnacle because they had a lot more to say, they had a lot more people when I listened to them lyrically. You had Navigator fans as well. Loads of Moose fans. So everybody had the fans though. And, but the
And everyone
spitters,
has such a distinctive style, right?
I
There's
think
so many
then,
different styles and characters. I was talking about this with I think it was AD, but one of my previous guests, like as a teenager in that era, buying the tape packs, collecting the flyers, and then eventually going to the raves to see all you lot. It was like you were all characters. Everyone had a strong character and a personality and a totally different voice and a different look and a different vibe. It was so exciting, that era.
I
And,
think that was the beauty of it was always never it was never, especially with MCs, we were never put together when we came together in a fraternity and said, let's do it like this. It's just random. So much random to it. We all had to do our thing and made sure it come together. I suppose when people try to make it, okay, let's do back a duo, like a Bucky and Det did as MCs. I think they set a precedence. I mean, I forgot what they named themselves. Uh, but when they came a duo, I think it set like, okay, it's MC time. This is the MC time. You know what? We want to get ours. You know, we're leading, we're doing things. And then you had my side who was still with, oh, the DJ doing thing, and I support the DJ. I'm serious, but I'm not thinking about myself that I'm an artist. I think Fats, when me and Fats mentioned it, and this is the same sort of time, Fats is around. I think Dynamite became when Dynamite would represent the money sides, that's where the sides die. South, keep naming it, help me out here, please, mate. would represent would represent people.
yeah, well, that's the core crust.
So they're
That's the
crushed.
core people.
So they're making music with MCs and pushing them as well as an
Uh-huh.
MC important. But there was still a lot of time where we were just backup dancers. A lot of us was backup. But in a career backup dancer, I still don't think we were getting what we wanted until the MCs on the other side thought, okay, look, we do it ourselves. And some of them started to like make patterns to say like, we're here. We're here. And I got to give humble respect to them guys for that because it was far too long coming. I think the DJs, I say they're holding us back. They didn't put enough belief on what artists is, what this MC, what artists is, what. Didn't have to take people like General Levy or Demolition Man to come in and be up that music. We could have done that. If they would have given us a chance, we could have done that. Easy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about, okay, let's take the biggest jungle record ever, which is General Levy. Incredible. I think that we could have done that. If they would have believed in him, I do. They would have put all belief in him and said, look, let's get this. And Beat said, look, come now, come here, blah, blah. Maybe you, I think he could have done that. I do. I think he could have done that. But I don't think there was belief. We just MCs, we wasn't artists. We had to become artists and earn that respect. And it was for the likes of MC Fats, Dynamite at the time, who were MCs and artists. Then, I think we'd be struggling to talk about it today. Now it's different.
You were very close with Fats, weren't you?
I think that's an understatement. My mantra, my captain.
Yeah. So how did you get to know Fats? When did you first link up?
Me and Fats first linked. It's funny because it was East London, South London thing. The proud East London man, the proud South London man. So it was a football thing at first, cussing, and then meeting the underground. The two firms who would come together, underground and Internati, playing football, having a rivalry. And I guess our personalities just went together. He was a joker, like loud, arrogant, loud. And I'm the same way. And ever since day one we met, just that's why I keep flats. God rest in peace. That's so my brother, please. And then my God, he's just not to me. Egg, love that guy. Funny as well. Funny. Even to the MC, he had his own style, no matter what, he's a freestyle. But come to our artist, yeah, the catalogue he's got still, the man's, to my opinion, no, forget my opinion, I'm telling you so. No better artist for me when it comes to making music. But I'm going to say that, yeah, I think Fats is they should have a statue of it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, yeah. A statue. And I'll be pissed off they didn't have put that. He's that man, that impact on my life and on this drum bass scene. MC General Fats singing.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
That's how I feel.
Fats.
Yeah. That's how I would say.
How important was pirate radio to you? Because there's certain MCs, and you mentioned Cool FM, and obviously Skibber and Shabba were heavily associated with Cool. But was pirate radio an important part of your heritage,
No,
or was it more sort of like the raves and the live setting? So yeah, how important was pirate to you?
nothing. I didn't grow my name on. It's funny enough, I grew my name outside. Listen, I never made my name off pirate stations at all. In fact, I wasn't really doing any pirate stations. Made you a special. My name wasn't made of. I didn't have to do it. Didn't have to. I was already solidified of doing my thing in raves. So, because I was one of the first, and I mean that in a diplomatic way, I was one of the first to actually do it and make it a living, and turn it to professional. I didn't have to work on pirate. I wasn't called to do pirate. And if I remember if I did, I chose whether I chose to not. I make special guest appearances. I think the only other person I can think of who done that was Fats and one as well. Didn't have to be really pirate. She definitely didn't have to be pirate, and I didn't have to.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it really interests me. And I was thinking you and GQ have got that in common in the sense that, yeah, you weren't really on the Pirates, but
Mm.
nonetheless, you were still heavily involved in radio because, I'm pretty sure that you did, you featured on Kiss FM. And I know you were obviously definitely on One in the Jungle on BBC.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, but cool by legal things, not because I had something up my arse and thinking I need to be. They call for me. One
Yeah.
in the Jungle, BBC, the BBC. We call for that, so they're seen as that, and to do the first legal drum and bass live, not pirate, live radio set. It's an honor to do that with Randman's Inc. MC was featured for us. I was a little bit
Yeah.
late. Yeah.
Tell me about that because I do you know what I don't mind admitting I don't think I'm familiar with this set that you're talking about. Tell me about that.
It's like live Kiss, and it's Moon Dance. Innovation, sorry. Before Fonty sold it to who sold it to. So it's Innovation. There's a lot of Coco's, Camden Palace. There's a Kiss 100 set. And it was set, I couldn't, it was so loud, I couldn't hear what I think. And my set was only to be live, so it's designated hours, which is random.
Wow.
So me and Random done that, and coming off of that, me doing that was coming up why Bad Company came to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they heard me, it came out from Vegas, so you had D Beach Vegas, Baldini, DJ Fresh. And I think Vegas, Pressure, to later, we worked with MC.
Sick.
with us, and it was amazing experience when someone headhunted you. So becoming a bad company, sort of, you see, touring around the world was a brain killer. It was like these guys are coming after me, and also at the same time, I'm touring, going around the world with a foul play with Two Bad Mice as crew. They wanted me, and then you had individual DJs taking me, Groove, Fabio, Matt Hoyts as a crew, but I'm just about music, yeah. So it was this, it was sought after. It was like a big thing. I was like, whether I like my style, how I sat on rhythm, how I was at the time, whatever, I was getting like so much attention. It was like, yeah. And I've always said to myself, it's not about killing the music, it's about timing, what you say outside, transition, how you put yourself about. Okay, it was bars, the big thing then. For that side, because some, to me, kind of hate subgenre. Some people wanted all that heavily raw bars. For me, I didn't want to go down that route. I couldn't do it. I keep saying that. I didn't want to do it. I liked the way that I emceed and story. Well, I wanted to do that. I'll study and do it. I couldn't do it. I'd like to work with a DJ. Because to me, that's like, where does a DJ get off on that? You might just have a jukebox and let the man do their thing. There's no skill level with it. The only skill level to me when you had the combination, and that going down the sweetest combination like Rocky and Deck, Conrad and Bookham, maybe SP and Friction, maybe. Yeah, combinations. That's works.
Yeah.
When you've got a DJ backing up, you've got two MCs on top of it, then where's the DJ skills coming out of it? Where's the were you working in tandem? That's for me, that's my opinion. They don't make sense to me. So I chose not to do it that way because it turned me on. Whether people go down and think, horses for horses, people say. Now you gotta have a bit of some flavour in the air, don't you? It's
like we touched on though, there's more to this than lyrics and chatting. There's that style. I've always said to you, you've got that kind of flamboyant edge. There's persona, because so much of this is non-verbal. The way you connect with a crowd, the vibe that you bring to the rave, to the set, whatever. It's not just what you say. It's not even just how you say it. It's also the vibe and the energy that you're transmitting out there.
Well, like I said, that's Craig Mack. Here comes the crime flavour in it, yeah. Flavour, man. It's about, what you like is what you like. And if everybody's ignorant to that, then they should. I wouldn't waste my time speaking to them. Everybody's got they like what they like. And if they think, no respect, the spitting MCs are the ones who are the pinnacle at the top because they got. You got to understand, these other MCs, like yourself, like me, we choose not to do that because that's not our flavour. There's a lot of people who don't like that flavour. They like to hear MC and music rolling as one. They want to hear no dizzy and come on. There's people who love that. But I already see just with hosting is a particularly art because you're going to continue listening to the music, when the DJ's no making no bit. It's not about, we're listening. Yes, so listen to the DJ, listen to the beats, and then come in when you come in. So I know straight away, even I surprised myself that I stop when the beat stops. I know how music's made. I'm listening to the DJ, I'm looking at the crowd, and I'm listening to my lyrics. So we've got more work to do being a host. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. And also, like, you end up doing... I was having a really interesting conversation with someone else that was on the podcast who's from the world of rap. And in his world, they come out, they perform 5 or 6 tracks, a set playlist. The track starts, they do their bit, it stops, the next one comes on, 20 minutes later, set done. And I was explaining to him how, like, as drum and bass MCs and working with several DJs across the night, you might be on the mic for like 3 hours at a time. And you know, that in itself is a skill, isn't it? It's not easy to command the attention of a rave and keep the vibe bubbling for 3 hours.
Because out of transition, you got to keep. It's like a story to me. You're doing you're telling a story about when you're speaking to the crowd, telling whatever, picking up certain people doing this, and then you're going to whether 8 bars or 16. The later ones, you know, thing you might say, okay, I'm surprised. Mine's a little. I'll chop 132. But it's a story we're telling. Hosts tell a story. We're telling a story. If you listen to it, any host now, we're telling a story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're in a place where there's more, you're going to drop more lyrics. You don't even have to. I mean, I worked at the place the other day. You know, I got pulled up by a promoter. He said, "You keep it down." I went, "No one ever said that to me." I went, "Fine." So, and you know what? I thought about it. And I listened to a couple of things before, and I'm thinking, I'm saying too much here. I'm not double timing, but I'm continuous chatting. And it's the best little bit of advice I got. And that's recently. So less is more, Flux.
Yeah.
You got that arsenal. You don't have to keep that. It gave me a little big up thinking, shit, I used to work for this band hard. I'm not going to mention the promote, I'm going to go hard. And it was the best advice I got given the other day. I said it where I was at 338, and I used to go with Man Phenomenon and still do. And I goes, fuck you, you know what? Wait, no, a minute. I didn't take offense neither.
Okay.
And you know what? Me and the guy who I was working for at the time, me and Mampy, we kicked ass. And it's coming off the gym shoe and they were leaving and they actually drowned the things. I think, oh shit, this is going to be a bit more harder than it was. No, we pulled it back. I wasn't saying that. We pulled it back. And I think it's the professionalism of us over the years taught us to pull back. Like, it made me think more. And when I think more, I become more professional.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit more skilled, but like a little bit more I got in my arsenal, which I don't use.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's like that thing, it's like something like the thing with darteritis where my memory, after so much, well, I think I'm speaking to you about it, so that I can't make it sit in my mind. It's like it won't sit in. Honestly, I've got like not 16s as well. I can't, without looking at it, trying to say it won't sit in. So it's like it's coming out a bit better at the moment, but it's not sitting. Well, I have to have that for those certain things we're doing, but we come to that later. So what year we're going to be in? So these people.
Well, look, I want to take it back. This is what I'm interested in, right? Because you started mentioning sort of Bad Company, for instance, and to me that signifies when jungle kind of, it didn't die, but jungle kind of started to drop off a bit, and then this new drum and bass sound came in. Ed Rush, Optical, Bad Company. But before we get into that bit, and before we go sort of fully into the drum and bass and take it forward a bit, I'm really interested to know, because obviously you were there, you were living and breathing this stuff, and I only hear the stories. When the jungle scene started to get a bit darker, what do you remember about that era? Because what people tend to say in the interviews and whatnot, and I just want to hear your take on these events, is that the drugs changed, the E's became more crack, that kind of thing. The vibe was getting a bit darker in jungle, and people sort of started to leave it and therefore maybe moved over a little bit more to like the garage scene, for instance. And there was almost another period of like music was changing. What's your take on all of that?
My take on that was, thank God for garage. And I say that because at the time, during the era, that it was crazy, it was a bit more tense, a lot more A-class drugs were being smoked and taken, mixed with juice and champagne, mixed with the wrong element coming to it, and it's happening in jungle. And if it wasn't for garage, so to say, I think it would have entered us. Like that scene ended. And because the music got a bit more. I was when people say dark, I would say more clever, more better producers. It wasn't no amen actually. It became more, but there was less bass line, and I guess multicultural people call it bass lines. Nice thing and a good bass. And garage was doing that. So the people for the jungle, because it was changing sound, they went to garage. And they took away that element, what was spoiled our scene, so they went to garage.
Mm.
And then you had that little element of like drum and bass is born, the jungle. So you had specialized people who played drum and bass. Goldie, obviously, the pinnacle, Ed Rush, Nico, you name it, Fierce, all those people who specialize in that sort of darker side of jungle. Phone Tech, there's so many I can mention.
Yeah.
And so many. And that became a proper popular because Metalheads were doing their thing. Metalheads were getting bigger and bigger. And I remember there was a little sort of hoo-ha going on, challenging Goldie, why is he getting more attention? That was coming from the Cool FM lot. And it's online, it's on their thing.
Yeah,
And,
it's the open forum thing, wasn't it, on Cool FM? Sorry to jump in there, but I listened to it. I listened to it a couple of months ago, and I think there was multiple ones. But the one I listened to, who did they have in the studio? They had one of the Ragga Twins. They had 5-0. 5-0 was like the compere, the host of it. Obviously, he liked doing that kind of thing, doing like a presenter. Shy FX was in the studio. And then Goldie. And there's a really interesting bit. People go back and listen to this. Like you said, it's on YouTube. But what Goldie starts saying, and given like this is like 95 going into 96 maybe.
That was there.
Yeah, and Det phones up and phones into the studio.
Right. Okay.
But what I was really interested in is like Goldie's kind of saying he's not digging Shy FX out. He's not like cussing him out, but he's basically saying the music that Shy FX makes is like kids' music. It's simple. It's like where, and he's sort of saying, look, what I do is not that. It's not that. And that was the kind of, you could tell there was two different camps forming. There was the jungle man, and then there was this new, more sort of scientific drum and bass sound that obviously Goldie took in very much in his own direction. So yeah, that's interesting. You referenced that Cool FM open forum. So yeah, you were there while this was happening.
Yeah, so we was there, and the split cat. But obviously, I say it again, the likes of myself, we still jumping into, I'm saying, sub-genres of the jungle sound.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll get more pulled into the melodic sound, like the drum and bass sound, new sounds coming out. And now the DJs were falling into it. I remember June jumped into it. He dominated it. He got sucked. He didn't get sucked in, sorry. No, it was his way of listening to music and joined the Metalheads camp, and he was a leader for a long time. Chemistry and Storm, absolutely magnificent. All those DJs who were at that time and Metalheads DJs were Bailey, obviously Inc. Please, like I said, none of these things. I have to remember names. Don't know why I'm missing any names out. So I've got that. It's because of my memory. Even Randall started to believe in that drum and bass sound.
Yeah.
Musical. It wasn't so simple. It wasn't. I believe you have to progress. Change is the key. You can't just have the amen going on and then slap a bass line as well.
Yeah, yeah.
You got I mean, if people remember who Photech is, the guy was like, it's like a magician. It's like, how do you get your sound to sound like that? You had to work at it. You had to listen to your ears. And Dillinger was a forefront of that as well.
Yeah, Dillinger. Wow. Yep.
I mean, Dillinger music was, he to me, I think, like in my opinion, they're looking at the pinnacle of making music. And if you jump into one genre, if you just jump into genre, you make it and you'll match it up. And you'll come to drum and bass and match it up as well. So he was one of those guys. Which I admire. Him and Lemon D salute you. But going into the MC style, yeah, I think the jungle section were worried because the drum and bass MCs were getting a lot more attention.
Round about this time, this era that we're describing, the change in the sound, jungle moving into D&B, were you ever tempted, or were there any opportunities for you to do the garage thing, or were you just not into that from an
No,
MC perspective?
no, for MC respect, I don't see it from another angle because I always wanted, I should have been a DJ, like we said before earlier on in the podcast. I should have been a DJ, but due to certain fractions didn't take up the mic, I decided to take up the mic. So the garage thing, no, no, I was never tempted. The garage MCs didn't turn me on. It just sound, they all chatted the same, apart from one was Creed. They all sounded that same style. And that same style they do, it sounded like that to me. There was only a couple that sounded different, like a Charlie Brown, Creed, but the rest of them just sounded the same. Like that flow. You remember that flow? They
Yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Cause you sort of grew up around DT, didn't you? You know DT from
Yeah.
back in the
Let's do
day.
it.
Yeah.
See, they, I like people who stood out. You know, but I could hear. And all the rest of them had that same flow. I'm
Mm,
thinking, that's why probably that MC Kai say 2 minute MC sound the same. Yeah, you do. You do sound the
yeah.
same. There's only a
But
couple you stick out. But when
were
you
you
look,
going to the garage raves? Were you dipping into
oh,
the
yeah,
garage scene at all?
I actually, because it came so big. And obviously, the people going there, you had to. You had to check it out. It was too close. And you know what? It's funny enough to me. Most of those people who came massive on the garage scene, no disrespect, they were like sort of failed jungle artists who didn't make it in a jungle scene. All of them, mostly all of them, didn't make it in a jungle scene. And I'm telling you that. Very few of them came from and said, I come into garage. They all just didn't make it in the jungle scene. Maybe they wasn't good enough, or maybe it wasn't the right place, right time. But people used to joke, not me personally, used to joke, oh, they're the failed jungle DJs or MCs. He's making it now on the garage thing. Now, garage was a intricate part of the British movement scene, but yeah, again, it's boring. It was, I played it, I liked it, I heard it, but really boring. Multicultural people react to our bass line.
Mm.
It's got a nice bass line. Musically, it's not that hard. Not that hard to make. Not to get levels and stuff like that. But no, we can put that in the bass line, put it in the club. Multicultural people will follow. You put erratic sound, but sound like Goldie does, or one of my favorite producers, Photic. You can't listen to that. They're not listening to like music which got no vocal, just not vocal, instrumental, being, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
respect that. I respect that. That's more music to me.
So the garage scene wasn't doing it for you from an MC perspective. Now the drum and
You know
bass sound is getting a bit harder, a bit more intricate, shall we say, a bit more scientific, with lots of the artists that you've name checked and events like Renegade Hardware, Metalheads are becoming more prominent. And again, you're so versatile that you've been able to adapt and move into these. Like, would you say that your MC style, if you look at Flux from across the years, you've gone from the Colin Dale, the rave era, and then you're in the Voodoo Magic, and then you're deep in the jungle, and now you're in this drum and bass era. Would you say that your style particularly changed with the music?
I feel like I became more complacent, more laid back. I wasn't so technical with the lyrics. There's a timing on the story. And I guess my voice was people's more abstained to, and because I was Flux. But I became very, what can I say? How can I put it? Not exclusive, not very versatile. Not, you'll get it. It's just you get it on a package. It's
Okay.
safe. I was safer than T then. I was playing it safe. I was
What
really,
were you going through the motions? Is it fair to?
I think so. I
Is
think
that what you
so.
mean?
I think complacency comes in anything. I think I'm
Okay.
complacent. I was get more, I played it safe. And then when I wasn't experienced then as stretching of both is what they should do. You should always push yourself. So during that era of when I was still getting a lot of attention, work. You didn't have to say nothing much, but then again, it's still not easy when you're working live and listening and telling a story to that sort of music because that music is not a form art of where you're going to chuck out a bad lyrics over. You got to listen and your time, you got to tell the story. And the guys who were doing it at the time with me, my peers, were doing it correct. We're doing it fine. We were letting off steam. We were doing it and we we're carrying it and we we're setting the standards. Hence why it's still around now. Hence why how big it is still. Because the vocalists at the time forefront we were doing our thing. So for me, even though I was playing it safe, I was still doing a lot of things. I didn't change my style per se. So I'm playing it safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, safe.
Were you feeling passionate with this drum and bass era that we're now in? Were you as passionate about that as when maybe the kind of rave thing first blew up? Was it or put it differently, was it still exciting you? Was it an exciting era, or was it you're so used to just being an MC and getting on the mic with DJs that
It's never too
it
much. And the
okay.
earlier days, you just didn't see it coming. It was just like a
Yeah.
rocket. Yeah. You saw a spaceship landing in. You couldn't believe it. So it was just raw. I could do this. Well, I think I'm sounding good. It was raw. Later on, when it came along and you're just doing it to party, but it was happening a lot. And then when it turns into, okay, this is becoming a career, and then we move on to thinking, can I sustain this career without coming from placing? Because I'm moving on, like, I'm in 10 years now.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's becoming, you're seeing it change from different sort of like subgenres moving through the gears. Different MCs are coming through and laying down the laws and acting differently. So you had to like think about when was it change, what way. And then I think you get confused. I think I did was a period in life I got confused. I was thinking I was like cleaning out all the lyrics of doing silly things like okay, badam badam bam bam, we ding ding ding, and that's not me. You know what I mean? Try and double time. That's not me. That's not how I want to chat. So you're getting caught up in that. So I had some weapons in that, but I dropped that very quickly.
Yeah. Did you feel pressure? Did you feel pressure to
I
sort of
think,
try and do
I
something
think,
different?
yeah, because when you first doing the One Nations and especially doing the first two One Nations, I think you had those more lyrical MCs. There was pressure, even though I still done my thing. There was pressure because you had a lot of X-Man coming through now. It was a game changer, very much so a game changer. You got security using his element now. You had Dex still using his element now. You had Shower coming through his element now. You had you had Funster coming through. Funster's a funny one for me because the way he sounded when he first I heard him, he's like he went back and ripped up the whole schoolroom like will come back this huge guy like where this guy come from. So you got these guys coming through who are like laying down some lyrics. And then you got me like telling a story, skipping in with you thinking, you're feeling a bit more pressure now
Hmm.
to say, I've got to get more or make your lyrics more lyrically context will make sense. Be skilled in it. Yes, sure. What coming through. And that's another game changer. Well, a wicked game changer. So it was getting more, okay, where's your lane? Where's
Yeah.
my lane?
So how did you cope with that?
You chose your lane. You stayed in your lane. You said, okay, well, look. But I think promoters and the crowd are you that Yeah, I like Flux playing, but he's not laying down what I want in this crowd, so you get replaced, which happens. But still wasn't hurting my career because I residents with Ram, with Resident Eye, Reggae Hardware, um, Metalheads, Metalheads, and individual stuff. So coming off the One Nations, getting booked with less than the One Nations and the Amazon or the Fentic stuff where there'd be more lyrics in, it wasn't such a big deal to me. It was just okay. So I was still sort of and after in the ways.
And I guess around this time, raves are less. Obviously, there's still big events happening. There's still massive raves going on, but the club culture is now a big thing, isn't it? Fabric, the End, and whatever other clubs you want to name check. You're now bringing the crowds into these different environments. So again, like similar question, really. Like, do you feel like your style as Flux, the rave MC, had to adapt a little bit when you're now Flux in Fabric with a few
Right.
hundred people in front of you rather than a few thousand?
Absolutely. I mean, you fabric, fabric, you have to come with it. You had to be, you're more scrutinized then. Because a lot of people like were serious. I mean, at first, I think it was just like more like in the West End of people coming there. But proper people came there, you had to lay down and act accordingly. So working in fabric taught me a lot. And being part of that time of growing fabric was so good. Was a great. I think that was the most probably another exciting time in my life, especially paying in the end. I looked for a lot of different organizations. It excited me because the sound systems in both of them, it's just so different now, and the DJs, the music's a bit more different. Yeah, I think it was like probably most exciting this time since I picked up Raw in the early days. So exciting to be part of that sort of era and playing with those sort of component DJs. It was really a good time to be in. 97, 96, 97, 98. It was a really exciting time.
How would you describe the vibe at the End? Because it was a real legendary club, and I only ever went there as a raver. I never got to perform there, but the DJ booth was like a circular kind of booth, wasn't it? Almost in the middle. This is like years and decades before this whole 360 rave thing, like we
Yeah,
get now, is so
that
common.
is three, first most 360 thing. Apart from that club in Swindon, which I just been now, but that's in my memory. Served me right for what it's called. The End is, it's like Black Market Record. It's a pinnacle. It was to me, it was a pinnacle more than any other club. The End was it's, for many times, whether for tube players, whether for where they get hardware, especially rap, it's the pinnacle. The sound system, the 360, it's serious. That's why people get serious. You don't really get, there are talks when you're gonna get serious. It was serious. The vibe, working with Ram, kid you not. No matter what combination was down there, you had to come with it. You had to come with it. You had to be at your limit. You had to like come with it. Because the DJs will come with it. So you have to come with it. Hype it up. When it's so loud, the mic wasn't so loud, so you have to extract your voice so you're not shouting, not screaming, but thing it. And we learned it, yeah, to adjust our voices.
Yeah,
Well,
because the production now is different, isn't it? From back in the jungle days, like the equipment's different. The producers have got, like you just said, the tracks are just generally louder, more punchy,
yeah, yeah.
fatter. So, but you've got a big voice, bruv. You've got a
Well,
big, loud voice. So I'm thinking that wasn't as much a problem for you as it might have been
no, it worked to my
for other
favor.
people, because you can be heard.
Yeah, it worked to my favor actually in that way because I've got a big fat voice. And there's some. Do you know when you say the rise and fall of somebody? It was the rise and fall of MC Flux, I'd say.
Okay.
Rise was unbelievable. Take away what I done and why I disappeared. Everybody knows that. But I think the build up of that, where it was going like mad for me, but I became more complacent for reasons. My mind was elsewhere, and I guess a lot of people saw that, and it's like making a big signing, money one signing, and it's not working out for you, and you're getting sold on. And that's what happened with me at that time. So it was a rise and development, actually, for many different reasons. So when it did die, and that fractions of people weren't coming from music, and I repeat again, it was so much style and things like that. It's because of my private life, and it kind of interrupted my professional and made me not think about how lucky I should be in this business and perform at the high level. You've got to be. Yet there's no complacency. You
Yeah.
can't yeah, I don't think you can have a bad night. Not them days. Now I think you can. If social media moves so fast, they'll forget it. Not so many, but you can be risky and have a bad night, and people forget very quickly, and you can make it up next week. You're a good night. Them days you couldn't have a bad night. The people who remember, take backs and things, or it's on my social, social media. There wasn't any social media, so you couldn't really have a bad night. And if I was having too many bad nights, then it got apparent, and they told you it's sold on. It's yeah, you sort of like open your eyes.
Yeah. So around this time, then, like you've been really honest there. You got a bit complacent, and obviously there was a lot going on in your private life in the background. And as you just said, like you're getting booked a bit less now. The scene's changing as ever. Music keeps moving so fast. It would have been really easy for you to, well, possibly it would have been easy for you to just stop, put the mic down, but you didn't. Like I said right at the beginning of this, 36 years later, Flux is still there, representing. What was it that kept you going through this time? And well, let me ask you that first, because I've got a habit of asking lots of things at once.
And
What was it? What was it that kept you going through this time? Because it would have been so easy to just say, "I've had my fill. I've done the world tours. I've done this, that, the other." Later,
I don't give up. Um, why I do that? I don't give up. Don't believe in giving up. I believe in second chances, third chances. You can prove that to be. Don't give up and persevere. It's perseverance and not giving up. And being at this platform again is like persevere. I always persevere. I believe in hard work. I work hard myself. There's personal issues, yeah, but when I put my mind to it, even if you don't hit that excellence again, I'll get somewhere to say my name will ring the bell. I'm still there. I'm there. It's a bit. I'm there. Because I like to persevere. Um, yeah. Even though I think it's a bit very hard now to get into and make a name because there's so much music, so much things there, but maybe we're too far forward in the way. But for me, come back to your first question, it's perseverance. I would persevere.
yeah,
I believe hard work. And
yeah,
yeah,
dedication, and you're resilient. Obviously, we know each other on a personal level as well as being, two MCs that talk a lot. But yeah, you're a resilient guy. What was there a particular moment you felt? I know we've covered so much ground in the last couple of hours already, but was there a particular moment where you felt that, okay, things are moving forward for me again now in, as an MC? Because like you said, you were here, there and everywhere, and then things quietened down a bit. life happened, but you didn't give up. So was there a point where you feel like, yeah, man, this is moving in the direction that I'm happy with again?
I think the time before COVID, just been coming up to working on a couple of hours, I nearly had a couple of hours. There, it was really, really kicking up. I couldn't believe it. I've been nearly 6 years out of the game for some reason or another. It's like, there's reasons why. I'm not going to go into that, but there's a reason why I was out of the game. I'm making a comeback. And then before COVID came around, 2022, I believe, I came back and certain organizations were coming back into it. And they were really coming back, and they certain people who ran shows were saying, "Can you look some work?" I'd like to look at it before we COVID and say to that promoter who promoted me at the time, I mean my agent looking after me at the time, shit, this could happen to me. Right? I'll tell you what's wrong with me, and this is the truth, and I'm putting some records. I think I've been lazy throughout my career from doing as I'm MC. I don't think I've ever given it apart from anything. 100% like working, barring off, practicing, blah, but it just became a norm. And it does with certain people. You know what I mean? I'm talking about working hard, like listening. You know, like work hard, don't play, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like practicing make perfect. I don't think from a certain period, for a long period, gave it that hardcore shot one changing and evolving. So if I did, what would I be there? I think I cemented my name, legacy, yeah. That's not only that, I don't think I really gave it that hardcore practice makes perfect sort of thing. Maybe in certain ways where I maybe got found out or I got sold on. But when I do, it's just dating it and that word consistency will come into it. Holding that consistency. And then obviously if you come with a bit of baggage, that's always going to help. People have question. Like people say, I've said, that's all risky because you don't know what you're going to get. You're going to tip. That's always going to be part of my baggage. But what I would say now it's like, yeah, giving it more 100%, taking it more serious, taking it more, this can do something to you because it can do with anybody. It can make a good living at itself. For making for rare, but it can make, it's all about luck as well. I think music's real about luck, being right place, right time. And that may realization might take you up and say, and the next minute you find yourself doing things like, shit, I'll do this shit. I mean, see really going on. So that question there that come up to pre-COVID, I took it away. It's funny. When I had to make a decision. Should I go for it again? Because there was a chance to. There's an opening there and it was happening. Well, COVID happened.
Right.
I want to come back again. It's like I started all over again. I think I didn't have that in me until the next year.
Is that how it felt? You almost starting from sort of not ground zero, but yeah, just starting from scratch. Is that how it felt?
Yeah, because I think outside our mind, but I was inside and I was in mind, and yet start again outside our mind. And then all the people who promised things but lost things, everybody's fighting. Well, we don't know what's going to happen. We're in the precarious situation, everybody. We don't know what's going to happen. Some people who wasn't living to don't know if they find out shit to whack a job. We don't know what COVID was happening. The hospitality industry was in trouble. We didn't know what was going on. And when it did come back, it was coming back slowly and it changed. There was no more 6 o'clock raves no more. All these early morning raves started to pop up. Which in a way was good for the jungle and film sector, but if you look at it now, you don't find no 6 o'clock rave.
It
You
is quite
three,
rare.
three
Yeah.
o'clock, 3 o'clock tops, and then you got this early morning rage, which it's working. The whole thing's ripped up and changed now. It's ripped up and changed. The final 6 o'clock rave, and the young ravers, they're not like us like the old ravers. To me, drum and bass reminds me of a drum and bass Sharon and Tracy club now. These people are going there, looking for women, the women for men, drinking really, really quickly, and by 2, 3 o'clock, they're gone. They want to go
Yeah.
home.
Yeah,
So they
even
don't
if a
know that.
rave does go on till late, like after
Yeah,
a lot
exactly.
of the time, right, it's after 2 or 3 o'clock, like it's a bit dead out anyway.
Yeah,
Not all of
yeah.
them, obviously, but some of them,
I'm
yeah.
sure I do. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can't speak much of the jump up circuit because I don't touch that. But I know the circuit I'm in, yeah, you
But on
don't.
the positive side of things, not that we're saying it's positive or negative, but you were kind of talking about the post, what people refer to as like the post-COVID landscape. I don't like that terminology, but that's what it is, right? The good one of the great things that came out of that was the birth of the day party, the day rave.
I think that was probably, I didn't think it would take off, but I think it works, especially in the jungle. I mean, if it gives a chance for families. We've got families, and mostly people who now have had families, like grandparents, that still have to go out and choose their day, say, this is us, or put their children somewhere, and they say, what is our weekend, and do what they used to do, reminisce and do what they used to do.
Yep.
Take it home, finish at a nice time, and whoever knows who when they continue to party, they can party and never take it home. And then reminisce for the time. I think it works for that. I think it works for the old jungle or drum and bass promoters or low people, such as like some moon dance, rain dance, any of those sort of things, or play old school things, even up to date things. It works. It does what I don't care. It works. People can make it work. You've got to
Yeah,
find the
man.
right time to make it work. Not the right day, yeah, but it does work. And it was the birth of that. So COVID gave birth to that.
Yeah,
Well, it works in my opinion, 100%.
definitely, man. So what did you do? What did you do post COVID? Like you were just saying, like you feel like you had to rebuild. How did you go about doing that? Because you're still here, so you obviously did something.
Um, Started with some people, the beat merchants, which is good, so juice man, and I was always wanting me to look at being an artist and cool. Fats was always pushing me, but that's just was busy or lazy or complacent or doing all of it. This time round, as we're talking now, I'm in the studio now as we're speaking, doing some work. I'm in from like this studio, which is literally about all these sort of things. So that's what I started to do. I joined the lead actions and started getting some stuff down. And they're filling me up in looking at the artist way. Like a lot of these MCs are doing. If there's a quick look now and stuff you can get it done somewhere. But I'm looking at it right really how to explore and exercise my skills in the right way so that I can deliver. Whether it be dominating the rhythm or whether it be uh, an 8, 60 million rats like that, I'm willing to go down that road and channel my into. And it's funny enough, I kid you not. Some person who gets this later, rather than time, it's heard me sing. I said, I hear that again. I hear that again. I said, time from singing and tuned it up and I'm singing.
Yeah,
No joke. I'm the joke.
it's the first
It's
you told me about this. Come on, this is a bit of an exclusive.
the world is exclusive to you because the world is exclusive. This only happened literally a week
Wow,
because I
come on.
sing to myself a lot. Then somebody, because I'm in their studio a lot, and they're working with different things like pop music things, signed a big deal. I'm working with
Right.
them. I'm with the organization. So I'm at their house staying because we're recording. And I said, say that again. Say that again. I've done it and like, oh my God, you got a good tone. Okay, you're going to tune up a bit, it's raw, but I find myself I can sing. I heard it back,
Wicked.
is that me?
So what genre is this?
Drum and bass.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sick.
It just come along because I was singing two things, but it just transferred things. I sing a lot of things from different things, and they heard my time because they work. Like I said, they work with various artists, not just the drum and bass paternity, but they worked with other sort of music. So it was just random. I'm like in the bathroom, it's that you, Flux? Do that again. Do that again. If you're talking about this week, and then laying it down now because I'm in the studio. I'm here. I'm here.
Wicked.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
After this, we're gonna lay it down again and refine it a bit more.
Quality.
How weird is that? If there's more weaponry to MC Flux, oh my God. I mean,
And yeah, man, and this is what we want to hear. We want to hear the different sides of Flux. I feel like I feel that it's you almost owe it to yourself to go in some of these different directions now. Like you just said, become the artist.
yeah, I I've done what I can be in MCing. Don't get, I love it. I ain't gonna turn it down, and I don't think I'm quite yet over. Even though I've looked at look how 58 soon. I don't want to be the MC like 60. So I'm high energy. I just don't want to be doing it. I want to be chasing it as well. Sometimes I think everybody got their ticket. And my ticket's soon, yeah. I'm nearly at the end of my journey. But being an artist, behind the scene, that's a beginning. So it's not it's a goodbye, but not a goodbye. To not goodbye yet. So don't probably stop book flux yet. But yeah, I know where my ticket is. But doing behind the scene artist, what Fat's always trying to push me to, which I'm trying to do now, which I'm looking at now. And there's a lot more hard. There's a lot of people got a lot more things to work out. There's more access where you can work from home, do gigs. But I'm using that connection I've got with some fantastic producers, fantastic people to send me over stuff over to me to work out. I'm in Vegas from Bad Company. It's starting again. The Great Nookie. So again, Juice Man, I think, is a massive bit of these weapons again. But not on all that, it's the U crew which I'm running with now, which is 113 subject. I think, no, I know that it's a process where it's like that. But having sat down and talked and actually seen it unfold now, especially this year, well, many people said, even I said, it's serious. It's serious. You can see the cookies, what we've got from there now this year. And the studio mixes we've shut done. And they continue doing. There's a vision there. There's a vision. Trust me, there's a vision. A meeting or so there. There's a vision there at the moment, which I believe in, I bought into. And I think there's been a lot of success. Working it easy, what they got and what they're going with, and what I've been experienced and exposed to, it's like, wow, we're serious. This is serious. Ain't no tin pan, blah, blah, blah. It's a work in progress, but it's definitely an experience.
So this is Subject 13, Vibes Recordings, Expansions Crew, London based. That's who you're talking about, right?
Yeah, and it involves different artists. It's a crew of making was obviously with artists from various subjects will be incorporated. when it grows or when there's things, and then you've got the MC base, which is going to stay the same. It's not hence why we're doing this focus. It's hence why you're involved as well. So
Yeah,
let's
man,
not.
of course.
Um, and a guy who I think is a super talent because I think he suffers from a little bit of confidence and he's a very talented guy and learning very quickly from yourself, myself, and the merger. And
MC
he's,
Merger, yeah, big him up.
yeah, and we're keeping it like that. And I want to say this for the record. I mean, while we're in contact, so we been so short but so quick that I don't think I'm going to put it in the right way. But you so not long ago, but our journey's been so quick and so tight. And I believe, I'm a fan. I am my MC focus. And when I have learned that how to mean that much to you, because you've got other things going on, you're a great family, man, I must say that. Wonderful family, man. Very switched on. Probably the most calmest person. One of the nicest guys I've met for a long time. And to hear your story when you spoke to that, yeah, can I step in? No, oh, excuse me. I said, hey there, this guy. Oh, that's no, you're too good, mate. And you are. I am telling you that now. It's. I like glad that you, even though you've got other things going on, and we talked about that, we don't want to talk about. But I'm glad you're staying flirting with us. I know you haven't committed because you've got other things you want to do. But just to have you part of it, off the tee, what we're trying to do, it's exciting.
No,
You
big
excite
up, man. You often say a lot of kind words to me, and
excites me.
you
You
know,
excite.
I really, honestly, I really, really value our friendship, and also, and I've talked about this several times. I don't know if it's been on this podcast or on other things, but there was a time, probably 2024-ish, where I felt like for me it was the love was fading a little bit. It was just kind of like fizzling out a little bit. It was like something I did on the side. And I don't know how you ended up getting my number and getting hold of me because we didn't really know each other. But one
Oh,
night I went for a walk and like ended up speaking to you on the phone and you were like, right, you need to sort this out. Like you're better than this. I want to see you like put some more effort in and get here and there. And it fucking proper gave me a kick up the arse that I will always say
we
thank
can,
you for because
yeah,
it really helped me, bruv, move things
so
forward
the,
again.
the people coming for you. I went, so this is what I talk about, telling the story. There's MCs what to the story, and you're one of those MCs what to the story. You know how to listen to music and not to say. And when you wanna let off, people are gonna watch out because focus comes with some laws. Your lyrical context of your style is like it's just coffee and cream. Sounds
Mwah.
sweet.
Nah, big up, man. Bruv,
Yeah,
you're a good man. I don't want to make this too much about me. That's all I'm conscious of.
I just want to finish this. When there's quality, people come. And I know when there's quality, because people are coming for you outside because they know you're putting yourself again. So they're coming for you. You're not headhunting them. They're headhunting you. And that's when you know your quality. Someone leave that bad with you.
Nah, big up, man. You know what the thread that runs through this conversation that I find inspiring is you've gone through a lot of challenges and you've managed to find a way to keep that passion there, keep that drive there. And like you said yourself, you're not a man that gives up. And that's why 36 years later, you're still doing this thing. And I think it's important for people to know like how long you've been in this, but it's not just a legacy thing. It's not just, oh, I used to do this, I used to MC here and do that. Yeah, of course, you'd have done all those things and we've talked about it and I love hearing the stories, but it's also about what's going on now, what's going on this year, what the next few steps are, and that's all in place as well, like you just said. So
I
I
mean,
love people hearing the full rounded picture of this
it's
thing.
all around
This
you
is
for
real
sure.
life. It's not just rave
Yeah,
stories.
yeah. Living in full life now. I mean, we got Scotland, we got North Korea, we got Japan, we got loads of dates in Amsterdam. This is what's happening now,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
as you know. because you've been informed, you're really part of it. I mean, it's like I said, it's a growth growing now. Do you know what I mean? What's happening?
What artists inspire you? Like outside of drum and bass, maybe. But what do you listen to? Like who do you listen to now? And then as a guy that's like you said a few times, like you're almost 58 years old, who do you listen to and feel inspired by and think, yeah, man, I want to kind of bring a bit of that vibe and energy into my own artistry.
I won't say it's energy music I listen to, but I listen to Neo Soul a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
And I listen to an artist with Dwelly because I'm like
Dwele.
Dwelly.
Yeah. I'm familiar. Yeah. Sick.
Yeah,
Do
I
you know,
love
I'm only really familiar with him because years ago, like D-Bridge, I'm pretty sure it was D-Bridge, did some sort of refixes of some of his tracks.
it. Yep, yep.
They were sick. They were
There was
sick. Yeah.
I just like I listen to Neo Soul. I just like
Okay.
the it's big music, and I've been to a couple of their parties. I just like the way they get down.
Yeah. Nice.
It's R&B. I'm not so. I mean, neo soul. Because I was always a soul person. Music come from the soul. So I listen to a lot of music. I've always what Subject 13 is making. The album, no, yeah, I didn't even know it existed. It's incredibly little bit, but it's frightening. And he's been definite inspiration. I mean, continually maybe a career again,
Yeah. Again. Yeah.
again. But like I said, my mind's elsewhere because I'm doing something what I also love. I'm not falling in love with it, but I just don't want to like. I've done it for a long time. My love hasn't gone, but I've done it. I
Yeah.
cemented my name, if you want to call it that. And I'm still going. Okay, there's echelons, which I keep mentioning all the time. I'm flirting. But I tell you, kid you not, and I'll tell you now, if I put 100% and scrap everything, I don't know, 100% MC right like a madman, do the head hunting, make phone calls, sell, update, do what people do, social media. I've got no disillusion that I can make this illusion. If I believed in that. Do you know what I mean?
Do you believe in
Do
it?
I'm not interested in putting myself into that. And I've
No.
got other things what take my love, which I like doing, like being a mentor and being around and becoming a good artist. But being an MC, if I flirted with the social way and every day, and you didn't do things like do bars, do special things and things, do things what move with the times now.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
my name, I've got no doubt that it will happen from there.
Yeah, man.
But I wanted to do that is because I'm not lazy, because I haven't got the love. I got my passion is elsewhere.
Yeah.
Could I do what I do? Could I do it a bit more? Of course I could. But I'm happy doing what I'm doing. And I've got a crew thing at the moment, which you're playing with, which I'm happy to see where that goes.
Yeah. Good.
And
The thing is, what? Sorry, go on.
and then it doesn't work, or it does work, call on call. Because we're going to some fantastic places. Philippines, there's a lot of things that will line it up, which I've been at the school calling the studio for a couple of days, that are happening. And they're going to happen.
And
You
it's all
know,
opportunities. Like I think sometimes we get as humans. I mean, I don't just mean me and you. I say we get fixated on things having to go in a certain direction, control where they go. But sometimes it's just opportunities. Things happen, and before you know it, you've opened up a little doorway that you didn't really know existed. And now the new things, you're like, oh, okay, I've been introduced to this thing that wasn't on my radar at all. Like sometimes life can work like that, can't it? It's not always under our control. Things just start to flow in different directions, and you can go with it and kind of be curious about where it takes you. Doesn't have
yeah,
to be set in stone.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's taken a while to know what Skip was put there on the platform, you take it or not. And I'm taking things now. And there's one more, this push now is more where I was like reservations were like there, not no more. It's like work making stepping stones. And if it works or not, and I hope it does work for a particular person, then the world's an oyster, and I'm gonna enjoy that ride before I will say adios amigos. But the ride, MC Flux is still there, man. MC Flux is still gonna make noise and to achieve
100%.
that. And like I said, 4 decades soon deep. And I could say he's frankly thankful for going on that party. It was a brilliant party. 35 years of Flux.
What, the party in Hitchin?
Yeah, what a party. Thank you.
Yeah, your set went down a storm, mate. People loved that.
Yeah, but just to
Good vibes.
good vibe. It was like touchy.
Yeah, it was sick. No, big up, bruv. Big up.
But yeah, it's this being in these podcasts, I think it's gonna go. I hope it does, because I think no one's ever touched on the MC podcasters, and there's so much story where sometimes you have to learn. You gotta listen to them. But me personally, yeah, from the beginning, and I'm still here now. I'm just honoured,
Yeah,
and I'm honoured to share that story with you. That I've seen a lot. We could talk for another 2 hours, and I can do more.
Yeah, do you know what? It's mad, isn't it? Like we're a good few hours in, and we've gone deep into stuff. But I know there's always more stories. There's always more things to talk about. But equally, I feel like we've given people the true representation of what you are about as an MC and an artist, and they can go and research all the other stuff. We've not deliberately steered away from the football and the prison and the drugs and all that. Like it's out there, like we said. So we're not just going to kind of regurgitate that. Bruv, do you know what? I was speaking to someone the other day. Shout to Essence MC. He's actually based down in Portsmouth.
Okay.
And we chat quite a lot. And I was just saying, oh yeah, I'm doing the podcast with Flux, because this has been a long time coming, really, hasn't it? Like this podcast has been a long time coming. But anyway, I was I was saying to him that I'm speaking to you, and he gave me a couple of questions. So I feel like it'd be cool just to pose these questions to you, and then we can start to wrap the podcast up. So yeah, big up Essence, big up my Portsmouth gang. He said he's got 3 questions, and they are as follows. Quite simply, this one: who is your favourite MC?
Do you know what? I gotta say, I hate saying it, but I got to say it because it's the proof's on the pudding. GQ.
Yeah. I thought you might say that. I think we can leave it at that. It's GQ, right? Salute. Second question. Who has inspired you the most over the years?
It's just in the music fraternity or anyone.
I think within the musical context, within your journey through music and the different scenes that you've inhabited, who's someone that's inspired you over the years?
Rob Playford.
Okay.
The 2 Bad Mice. Simon and Sean, that's Deep Blue. They inspired me because they stuck with me when the dark times were coming end, and we pushed the good. With so much misery now, and but the whole family, even big up to the whole crew.
Yeah, man.
For my journey, yeah. You speak about now that it's definitely 100%, no joke, not for it here. Subject 30. One of them.
Yeah.
It's inspiring me, didn't know what like learning how to sing. And it's no joke thing. You go to explore yourself quite seriously. Really seriously. From just hearing me in the bathroom thinking, come here, say that again, say that again. He's like that, say it again.
Sick.
I'll lay it down again. See?
Wicked.
The tone, yeah. So the adventure right now, but during the years I think it's the movie shut up.
Okay. And then the third question, big up Essence for these. So the third final one from him is, who lyrically is the best MC out there?
Focus.
Focus? Come on. I'm not...
Do you know what? Okay, no, look, if you're going to talk about that, see the spitters, that don't turn on. I salute them 100%. They are good at their craft, but it doesn't turn me on. I know because the music pisses me off. It just doesn't. It's not drum and bass to me.
By the way, this doesn't have to just be in drum and bass. I think he's just saying like it, all the music that you listen to, have listened to over the years.
Oh, Vibes Cartel.
You know, like
Vibes
Vibes
Cartel.
Cartel. Yeah.
Vibes
Okay.
Cartel.
Interesting.
Vibes Cartel.
Yeah.
For spitting, Vibes Cartel. For the whole thing, like
Yeah.
we've got drum and bass thing. But let me go back to the spitting thing. I think
Yeah. Yeah.
for
Sorry.
drum and bass, X-Man, Skibidi, Irish Shotter, Scabba, there for that spitting thing. Stevie Hyper, he will be those guys who made it to Liverpool. And if I
Yeah.
forgot your name, it's not because I'm thinking out loud now, but yeah, those guys in Scooby obviously. Yeah, for that double timing. And when people do it properly, so I can understand those guys. When there's far too many of them, I cannot understand. And I have to like suck in, but these guys are clear. But for the whole thing over spitting and chatting, Vibes Cartel.
Yeah.
Easy.
Have you ever seen Vibes Cartel live?
No.
I bet. I guess he's a kind of an elusive guy, isn't he? He was probably not the easiest person to get hold of.
Yeah, I get puzzles and stuff from me now, not the same art as I used to be, but at his time, I thought, what this guy is dangerous. I mean, I was a bounty killer person. This is about Rodney Pride, this is bounty killer. Elephant Man, Movado. And when you hear this guy come along and just change up the whole game, switched up the whole game. Love that guy. Ray Vibe was like serious MC, serious artist.
Yeah, he's dangerous, man. Do you like Massacre?
Yeah. I like all modern bashment things. Yeah.
See, Froster's recently done a tune with Massacre on for Def Jam.
Yeah, well,
amazing.
That's
good to see those link ups happening.
Yeah,
and yeah, sorry. Oh no, I'm jumping about here, but you mentioned Harry Shotter a few times. I would go as far to say that Harry Shotter, I think, is one of the best MCs in the world. I'm not just talking about the UK. I'm not just talking about.
Yeah.
Like he is, bruv. He is up there. Like his album that he put out last year, Odyssey, hip hop album, mainly hip hop. It's fucking amazing. His clarity. My son, shout to my son Dexter. He's only 11. He's quite a big Eminem fan, but I've recently introduced him to Harry Shotter, and he's like, Harry Shotter's almost replaced Eminem for him. He's just like, wow, Dad, this guy's amazing, and the clarity, the speed, but it's not always just fast tongue, double time. He can do deep, meaningful hip hop tracks. Amazing.
Is it really,
bruv? Yeah, he's like go on your Spotify's or whatever and check out Harry Shotter's Odyssey album. It is my favourite album of last year, 100%.
And yeah, as you got the like the big ups, not the big ups, the respect for that album, what he done, or is it like, okay, it's a good album, but it hasn't got what it's got, should have got.
I feel like because it came out on a label called High Focus. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's probably the leading UK hip hop label.
Okay.
And for them to put out Harry Shotter's album, I think in itself is testament to his skill and ability as an artist, because he's not. I know he did start off as a rapper, more in the hip hop world.
He came and
it's called Lethal, wasn't he? But anyway,
well, that's
I just think, it's a solid album. It's a solid album, and I think it is 100% getting him the respect and the recognition and the awareness that he deserves. Because I honestly think sometimes people talk about who's the best in the UK, or for me, Shotter's like one of the best. Full stop.
As a full artist, also.
Full stop. Yeah, just as an artist, as an MC, vibes and energy.
Yeah.
Lyrical content. Yeah, very, very inspiring. Anyway, enough about me telling you who I rate. So one thing to do on the podcast when we start to wrap things up, I ask all my guests. I like to put them on the spot and say, right, if you had to pick 5, this is one of those really annoying questions where you can't think, and then you think, oh, I wish I'd said that or whatever. Everyone does it, but it's cool.
I'm glad you said that.
So right, yeah, don't worry. Ultimate MC cipher, okay? Artists and so MCs / artists, but let's just say MCs from any genre, whether they're from the past, the present, dead, alive. If you could put 5 people in a room, in a cipher, different genres of music might be getting played, but you're going to sit and enjoy these 5 MCs just going in. Who would your 5 MCs be?
That's any genre. Like
Anyone that's touched a mic, you can pick them. Anything.
Big or small.
Dancehall, rap, ragga, sound system, bashment, jungle, grime.
Okay. Red Man, Method Man, easy. Yeah. Vibes Cartel. Some George Bashment. Billy Smalls.
Yeah.
And NWA as a free time.
That's okay. That's controversial. So can we put a crew in or not? I guess I'll let you have that. NWA.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No Jungle Man in there at all. I'm not trying to make you change your mind, by the way. So Redman, Method Man, Biggie Smalls, NWA, and Vibes Cartel.
What's in the studio? If you would have said to me, go and watch in live and hearing them, so I would have said Pokemon Combat all day long.
Yeah,
it's the sweetest combination for me. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I've been to too many places where it's so sweet. They sound like in harmony. They're in harmony, and that's for me. I'll go Pokemon Combat.
Okay. As did you say, you say your duo. So that's the ultimate cipher, and then your ultimate DJ MC duo. So okay, I like that. Bruv, thank you so much for spending this amount of time talking to me. I really appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you feel like you've had a chance to say, break down your story and say what you wanted to say.
Say anything else you want to.
Well, I do invite my guests to spit something a cappella. You've already given us a few little bars when we were talking earlier on from the sound system era.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'm not really known for, but I guess because I'm going to do a remix, I'll do a lot more. It's personal to me, and it didn't get released properly. And I do it, but it's meaningful, and I hope it makes sense to people what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to no matter what style I say it. It's not double time. It's not fast. It's just a meaningful thing. What's going to be made again, remixed, but released properly.
Okay. So
it goes like this. African drums. What you feeling? Drums are loud. Snares integrated. Kings of kings. Lords of lords. Tribe of Judah. No weird, no fraud. Haile Selassie. Concrete line. Naya Bingi. Ashanti. What I'm saying, Ethiopia, the capital, Addis Ababa, Rastafari, Selassie, yes, the emperor, Rudio de Dan, Chosen One, Tim Yadan, no way, the man, Rastaman, beat the drum, jump and move, Skankan Galan, red gold, and just green, Rastaman. That's the scene. I think I want to know and on. That's gonna come out.
Jeez, come on. Yeah, boy. The African drums.
I've been for the dreads and where Rastafarian religion comes from. I'm trying to put that forward.
Yeah. So can we expect? Because obviously that was a tune, that African drums, a tune you did with Beat Merchants. You talked about a bit earlier. So we can expect to hear that, a different version of that coming out.
We tried it because due to politics from people, pathways, the rights, and everything else, we've done a mix, which was good. Which went well, but I wanted the mix the DJ's playing what did come out with colleagues behind that. But
Okay.
it's really done again properly. And the beat,
Sick.
I know it's properly. I did a few more bars onto it and give it more purpose. And I wanted to say that because I want to get more hype. It's coming up soon. I laid more different things down, but that's the purpose in it. It's not about how I'm chucking it down. It's like the purpose of the lyric.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
and drums and where Rasta Man come from and Haile Selassie. You know, if you don't know about Haile Selassie, go read it. That's it.
Yeah, man. No, that's sick, bro. Thank you for doing that.
And thank you,
So,
man.
is there anything else you'd like to tell people about, where they can find you, anything of that nature before we wrap this up?
You can find me on all the usual platforms. And I'm making a comeback because don't ask me why. I got hacked. Every single one of our socials went down. Still trying to get back now. I tried everything. So if you've got me on social, don't worry. And if you haven't seen me active, it's a whole experience getting hacked and trying to get the socials back. And may I have to start again? Never know. I am terrible. But that's natural. So if you're on socials, if you've got it, then yeah, use your platform, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Well, I active haven't because of certain reasons. Lacking situation.
I'll put those links for your socials into the show notes anyway.
Okay, and
I guess we live in an age now where people just type in MC Flux into Google and stuff comes up anyway.
And a lot of information just come up about me. Yeah,
And go and read the book as well, people. Go and grab the book. It's out there in the usual places you buy books from. It's a great read, and you can find out all the other stuff that we do. Because this is what I'm saying. This is the mad thing. This geezer, all we've talked about for 2-3 hours, whatever, is the music bit. There's so much else that we could have talked about for this. This could have been like a 10-hour podcast if we'd have gone into that other stuff. So do go and read the book and listen to the other podcast that we referenced, because yeah, there's a lot more to find out about Flux. But this has been the definitive bit around MC culture.
Yeah, and keep up the good work, mate. I think this is a good platform for other MCs, whether big or small, to like put the story across me and let them go at what they want to do. And thanks for you, sir, for giving up your free time to make this happen and to invite me on to a great show, I believe. So yeah, pick up my chest focus. Man.
Big respect, mate. My pleasure. Right, people, if you're watching on YouTube, then you can listen to this on Spotify and Apple and vice versa. All the usual stuff that podcast people say, like, subscribe, follow, comments, all that stuff helps it grow. And follow the Instagram as well, at Mike-Minded People on Instagram. If you want to send me your ultimate MC cipher, then please do. You can just send it through to the Instagram. And yeah, lots going on this year. Another fantastic guest episode in the bag, my boy Flux, dropping soon. Watch out, more guest episodes to come. In the meantime, from me, from Flux, going to sign out. Peace.
I mean.